The Seattle Seahawks just couldn't get what they wanted when it comes to quarterbacks. Neither could the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Seahawks struggled with Jeff Kemp, but the injured Dave Craig returns today. The Steelers have been up and down with Bubby Brister, but last Monday, Neil O'Donnell earned the starting spot.
You can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. But if you try sometimes, will you just fight? You get what you need.
NBC Sports presents the National Football League. Today, it's the Seattle Seahawks versus the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh has been a field of shattered dreams this week. On Monday, the Steelers lost to the New York Giants 23-20, and on Thursday, the Pittsburgh Pirates were eliminated by the Atlanta Braves in the National League Championship Series. Today, the Steelers hope to end the losing ways on a beautiful afternoon in Pittsburgh, 48 degrees. And hello, everybody. I'm Mel Proctor along with Joe Namath. And Joe is a former quarterback. I know you love those quarterback controversies. We've got one going here in Pittsburgh. Bubby Brister is out. Neil O'Donnell is in.
Well, I think many of the fans are going to get what they want in Neil O'Donnell. Coming off a big game against the Giants, Coach Noll loved the way this young man brought his team back. He says O'Donnell seems to thrive with challenge. He gets better and better. But, folks, I'll tell you something. This is only the second game this young man's playing in his first start in the NFL. I wouldn't have real high expectations for this young man today.
And, Joe, we also have a quarterback change in Seattle. Jeff Kemp is out, way out. In fact, he was released. And Dave Craig, who was hurt in the first game of the season, is back in there as a starter.
Yeah, I like Dave Craig. He's a fighter. He's tough. He's a 12-year veteran and is this team's offensive captain. His players like him. They say he knows how to push the right buttons out on the field to get the best out of his teammates. The big question with Craig today is you accumulate some rust with the inactivity. Is Craig going to be rusty or is he going to be sharp?
And two of the best coaches in the business, a battle of Chucks.
Man. Two Chucks. So, you know, they're just alike, really, when it comes to football. They're hard-nosed, tough football coaches. You ask these guys what they think of the other's team, and they both come up with the same answers. Well, Chuck's team is prepared. Sure, it's prepared. You're going to get hard-nosed football out of both of these teams today.
Fifth and sixth on the all-time win list. Chuck Knoll in his 23rd year here in Pittsburgh with 205 wins. And Chuck Knox, who is from this area, from Sewickley, Pennsylvania, is just outside Pittsburgh, with 174 victories. And we are ready to go on a beautiful afternoon here at Three Rivers. The Steelers are 3-0 at home against the Seahawks. And Gary Anderson will get this one underway with Seattle receiving. Taken by the Seahawks, Chris Warren, one of the leading return men in the AFC, and he brings it back close to the 20-yard line. Warren will be in the starting backfield today in addition to running back kickoffs and punts. And here's Dave Craig, the three-time Pro Bowler. Derek Brills moves into the starting lineup at guard, replacing Warren Wheat. And also a change in the backfield. Chris Warren makes his first NFL start, replacing Derek Fenner. And when they go to four wide receivers, Lewis Clark and Jeff Chadwick check in. First down for the Seahawks at the 20. The tight end Mike Tice in motion. And the pitch is to John L. Williams on the cutback. And picks up about 1.5 yards. You'll see a lot of John L. Williams today.
Tackled by Hinkle and Nickerson.
Williams not only a fine rusher, but also a great receiver. He had 73 catches a year ago.
He's going to have more than he's been getting, Mel, because Dave Craig has a way of finding John L. out of that backfield. Dave said he doesn't have a set pattern on a lot of his plays, but John L. can find the open spot, and Dave Craig will look for him.
Brian Blades and Tommy Kane, the wide receivers, have both split out to the right, with Williams and Warren the running backs. This is Kane in motion. And the first carry for Chris Warren, a second-year back out of Tiny Ferrum College, a Division III school in Virginia. Up front for the Steelers, Kenny Davidson has moved into the starting lineup today in place of the injured Aaron Jones, who has a bad shoulder. 4 quality linebackers. And the secondary also very strong, led by the Pro Bowler Rod Woodson. The Steelers last year were the best defensive team in the league, and Chuck Knox said they're playing at that level again this year after some early season difficulties. Gerald Williams, Delton Hall, and Gary Jones come in when the Steelers go to the dime defense. Second down 6. Lewis Clark is in as an extra wide receiver for the Seahawks, and they go to the shotgun. Make it 3rd and 6. And Craig has an open man, and the catch made by Brian Blades, who's tied for the league lead in receptions with the Oilers' Haywood Jeffries, and he's got a first down.
I'll tell you something. That was a big completion right there by Dave Craig. It kind of shakes off some of the butterflies. You'll watch Blades get downfield here, break to the outside actually, and the ball is right on target. And what that does is gives this whole offensive team of the Seahawks some momentum, a better feeling. We got our man Dave Craig back, and Blades is having some season, tied with the NFL lead. That's his 41st catch.
Blades said before the season he set a goal of 60 receptions, and he told us yesterday he's going to have to reevaluate his goal now because that was his 41st catch of the year. First down at the 34-yard line of Seattle. Warren trying to get outside. Chick Harris, the Seahawks running back coach, said he's our fastest back and he has the ability to break tackles, and there is a penalty marker on the play.
Right away you see the Seahawks trying to establish this run. Ground Chuck, but I can believe that Craig will come out firing on first down later on.
Gordon McCarter is our referee this afternoon. We've got holding against the Seahawks.
Holding, 32 offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat, first down.
It's called on the fullback, John L. Williams. And Chuck Knox is upset. Dave Craig said we can't afford to make mistakes. We can't turn the ball over. We've got to convert our third downs and play mistake-free football, and an early holding call hurts the Seahawks. So it'll be 1st and 18 at the 26-yard line. 3 wide receivers in the game now as Clark checks in. Craig's pass over the middle is complete to Lewis Clark. Make that Tommy Kane. Tackle made by Thomas Everett.
Tommy Kane just downfield and found a big hole in the middle of the Steeler defense. In the middle of the screen, left to right, you'll see Tommy Kane come in here, and there's not a Steeler around him. Found that dead part of the zone, and Dave Craig read it just right.
On 2nd and 3, the Seahawks will go with 2 tight ends, Mike Tice and Travis McNeil. As Lewis Clark leaves the game, John L. Williams the lone setback. Williams, and a good play by the cornerback Rod Woodson coming up for the Steelers to turn him inside.
Well, you said it. Rod Woodson is the second leading tackler on this team. I asked him yesterday, what's it mean when a cornerback is your second leading tackler? And Woodson said, hey, when you play cornerback for the Steelers and Chuck Knoll, you've got to be a hitter. We're asked to support a lot in the run game, to get up there and take people on. And so we've got to be tough out there, and you're looking at one of the best in all of football in Rod Woodson.
And a third down situation for the Seahawks, who have converted just over 34% of their third down situations this year. They'll go to the shotgun. 10:41 remaining in a scoreless first quarter. 4 wide receivers in the game. Craig underneath. And the second effort by Jeff Chadwick. Close to a first down, depending upon where they spot the football.
That was a big play by Chadwick. I mean, he ran a pattern to the inside, then he reversed out. On the right side of the screen, you'll see 88 come in, then reverse right there in the corner. Now watch, he'll get up because he's not touched down, and he'll be able to gain some more yardage. Heads-up play by Jeff Chadwick. Big first down, overcoming the holding penalty by John L. Williams.
First down near midfield. Kane is wide to the right. Blades split to the left. Warren and Williams, the running backs for the Seahawks. Craig's pass is complete to Tommy Kane, and he picks up about 8 yards on first down. Hardy Nickerson makes the stop for the Steelers.
Craig's certainly not showing any rust now. He looks awful sharp. Hitting his receivers, picking the right receivers.
And by the way, we wish a happy 33rd birthday to Dave Craig, who is celebrating that number today, and he's perfect, 4 for 4 in the first quarter. He seemed more concerned about having to hold the ball on place kicks than really passing the ball today. And as you can see, he's got the plays on his left wrist.
Yeah, but this is his 12th year. I don't know how important that list of plays is.
Second down 3. Kane is in motion. Warren following John L. Williams and stopped cold. He didn't get anything.
Hardy Nickerson, I believe, filled that hole quickly. There he is, number 54. I mean, he saw a little daylight up there and just filled the gap. Met the ball carrier actually for about a yard loss. Watch number 54 here on the left side of your screen. Left side, he gets up there, he plays off the block actually, and then he fights through there. Well, my goodness, he had some help from his friends that time too. Looked like Kenny Davidson was in there.
And it's 3rd and 4. The Steelers go to dime defense with Gary Jones and Delton Hall in the game. 6 defensive backs. The Seahawks have converted the 2 previous 3rd down situations. Craig getting some pressure, steps up. And he is short of the first down. Chased down by Gerald Williams, a linebacker who comes in on the dime defense for the Steelers.
Good defense downfield and pressure. Craig doesn't like what he sees and has to get out of there, but right away those Steelers close in on him. Craig is a good running quarterback. I don't feel that he's in top shape right now for game conditions, but he'll take that rock upfield and get you the big first downs on occasion.
And Rick Tootin, who was just signed on October the 9th, is in to kick. He had a good game last week against the Raiders with 5 punts for an average of 45.8. Rod Woodson lets it hit inside the 10, and it's into the end zone for a touchback. A 44-yard kick by Rick Tootin. So the Seahawks drive breaks down. The Steelers will take over at the 20. No score in the first quarter.
All right.
Getting to know you.
Everybody's different. Different looks, different tastes, different lifestyles. That's why Geo offers you a choice. Geo Metro, Geo Storm, Geo Prism, and Geo Tracker. So pick your favorite and get to know Geo. Right around the corner at your Chevrolet Geo dealers.
Getting to know you.
You'd think a country that could put a guy on the moon and a sushi bar on every corner could make a great non-alcoholic brew. Coors did it. Now even a herd cutter or a word cutter can enjoy a Coors cutter. Everything about the taste says beer, but the label, that says brew. Lawyers, go figure. So whether you're a butter cutter or a clutter cutter, enjoy the clean-cut taste of a Coors cutter. Nothing cuts it like a cutter.
Those figures for the meeting, you don't like them?
Some things are so reliable, they seem invisible.
Confusing, right? They're fine.
For the last 9 years, Canon has been the #1 choice for copiers of uncompromising quality.
No, really, tell me. You can tell me. They're fine. I'm your friend, tell me.
And if you haven't noticed, that's exactly how it should be.
We're not friends anymore.
From compact to advanced digital color to high-speed copying systems, the choice is Canon. Call 1-800-OK-CANON.
Since we became employee-owned, I think there's a far greater commitment to providing good quality service.
Roving Rapid Return is really fast. I meet you at your car, push a couple of buttons, hand you a receipt, and you're out of there.
So why rent from anyone but an owner?
Hey, Joe, what will the Seahawks' approach be defensively with a new quarterback for the Steelers and Neil O'Donnell?
When on Chuck Knox, any defensive unit, I think they're going to make O'Donnell beat them. In other words, try to shut the running game down. Of course, the whistle had blown prior to this run. But with the young quarterback, you want to put the pressure on him. And one of the ways of putting it on O'Donnell is taking away the run.
Offense, 5 yards, repeat first down.
Illegal procedure against the Steelers. That's one way to stop the drive. Up front, Tom Ricketts, a local product from Pitt, moves into the starting lineup in place of the injured Terry Long. Tunch Olken is a three-time Pro Bowler, and O'Donnell making his first NFL start today, along with Merrill Hodge and Barry Foster in the backfield. When they go to 3 wideouts, Chris Calloway checks in along with Lips and Stone. 1st and 15 as a result of the penalty. And O'Donnell will put it up. Out to his running back, Foster. And a big pickup for Barry Foster. Tackle made by the left cornerback, Dwayne Harper. Seahawks with a solid defense. 4 former #1 draft picks across the front line. Porter, a 2-time Pro Bowler. Both Harper and Hunter, the cornerbacks, are playing very well. And when they go to their dime defense, Brian Davis, James Jefferson, and veteran Nesby Glasgow check in for the Seahawks. 2nd down 2 for Neil O'Donnell. And they give to Foster, who fumbles the football. He never really had possession of it. And it's Seattle's football.
No, I think it's going to be Steelers' ball.
No, you're right.
Let's take a look and see if you can tell what caused the fumble here. The ball appeared to be handled properly, handed in the midsection, but Foster never got control of it. Unfortunately, one of his teammates got hold of it. Here's Cortez Kennedy, number 96, playing off the blocker and puts a nice form tackle right in the middle of Foster. Excellent, excellent position by Kennedy.
So the Steelers get a break and maintain possession, nearly giving it up, and they've got a 1st down at the 30. And this play is blown dead. So the Steelers having some difficulties. This is delay of game as the play clock ran out on Neil O'Donnell.
Well, some of this can be expected because I don't think 2 plays in a first series it should happen, but O'Donnell hasn't been on the field except with the Giant game. He called the 3 timeouts last Monday because things weren't clear. Maybe he's being a little more patient out there and getting the plays and calling them, and that could be the reason for the 2 delay penalties.
1st and 15, 2 tight ends in the game, Eric Green and rookie Adrian Cooper. O'Donnell being pressured by Jacob Green, throws it away. Good coverage in the secondary by the Seahawks, and he couldn't locate an open receiver.
No, incomplete.
Houston and Miami underway. No score in that one. Tampa Bay and New Orleans. The Saints still without a defeat this year. The Jets and the Colts. New England has taken a 7-0 lead over the Vikings.
Wow. New England, every now and then, they get up there and play some good football.
2nd down 15. Chris Calloway checks into the game, replacing Lewis Lips for the Steelers. So it's Calloway to the left, and Stone comes in motion. Foster hit in the backfield, and he'll lose a couple of yards. Tackle made by the 12-year veteran Jacob Green, and along with Terry Wooden.
Big Jacob Green, defensive captain of these Seahawks. And why? Because he practices the way he plays the way he practices. His teammates voted him defensive captain. Let's take a watch of big Jacob Green here, 79, playing off the blocks and fighting through that. Good effort by big Jacob. They run away from him a lot, as you just saw.
Another 3rd down situation, 3rd and 15. The Steelers are the worst in the NFL at converting 3rd downs. They're successful only 27% of the time. That percentage drops a little more as this pass flutters incomplete. The Steelers will have to punt the ball away in a very ineffective first possession for the Steelers.
Well, Jacob Green and his mates put some pressure on O'Donnell that time. They stacked up the middle, and Hasselrig, number 77, just flat out missed his block on Jacob Green. It was all O'Donnell could do to unload that pass.
So Dan Straczynski is in to punt. He'll be kicking to Chris Warren, who is 3rd in the AFC in punt returns, averaging 11.5 per return. He has a 59-yard touchdown to his credit. A high snap. Straczynski gets it away. And Warren will signal for a fair catch. A short kick, but a favorable roll for the Steelers. Indeed. Inside the 25 and still rolling.
Awful play by Warren. He should have fielded that ball. My goodness.
That turns out to be a 53-yard punt. But there's a penalty marker down, and it's coming up against the Steelers.
Sure, that snap was high, so there were linemen downfield, people covering the punt downfield before the punt was made.
So make them kick it again.
Ineligible downfield on the kick, number 57, offense, 5 yards, repeat, 4th down.
Well, you take a look at this high snap here, and it's a very thankless job being the center on these things, but because of the high snap, the timing is thrown off at the line of scrimmage. Now, here's Warren. He didn't close on this ball nearly as fast as he should. There may be a bit of a swirling wind up there, and he got fooled because he's been doing one well of a job running back punts and kickoffs.
Greg Lloyd is the punt snapper. He's guilty of that high snap, and now Straczynski will be punting from the 5-yard line. No score with 4:55 remaining in the first quarter. Not much offense, and this one is blocked. Well, the Seahawks blocking the kick.
Kick is blocked by Hunter.
It was Patrick Hunter, who's having a terrific season, in there to block the punt by Straczynski.
And Hunter was being blocked. I mean, he was fighting through a block to get his one hand up on this ball. Watch how he fights through this block on the right of the screen. Come on, Hunter, get in there. There he is. He gets his right hand up there and deflects the punt. Brilliant play by Patrick Hunter.
So the Seahawks will have excellent field position at the 21-yard line of Pittsburgh.
See little things like that high snap.
Caused his own pitch behind the line of scrimmage, therefore his advance is legal. He did not make the required first down the other way.
The Steeler who recovered the football able to do so, but unable to pick up the necessary first down yardage, and so the Seahawks take over on the block punt by Patrick Hunter.
On the right side of your screen, there you see Hunter come in and just get his right hand up enough to block it. Then Lloyd catches the ball and tries to run with it, fumbles it, recovered, but not far enough for the first down.
Hunter also had a 32-yard interception for a touchdown Sunday against the Raiders. Both he and Dwayne Harper, the two cornerbacks, are playing exceptionally well.
Kicking game, field position, very important.
And they're taking a look at this play.
Well, I don't know what you want to review other than where the ball should be spotted right now. It's clearly blocked and then recovered and comes up short of the first down. Again, I don't know what you can be reviewing on this play, except he was down right there. You see, Lloyd was down at that point, and where the ball went forward and recovered should not be. It should come back to where Lloyd was forced down initially.
The replay official was Fritz Graff this afternoon, and both coaches awaiting the outcome. Oh, a block punt by the Seahawks, and they take great pride in their special teams. Their special teams coach is Rusty Tillman, who played on the Redskins special teams. In fact, he was their special teams captain in the mid and late 70s, and I guess we understand they're trying to find where the ball should be spotted.
Well, why don't they just look at that replay again, and then if that doesn't tell, take an educated guess and let's get the game going.
That's Dennis Riggs, the umpire, talking to Fritz Graff upstairs in the booth, who's reviewing the play. And here's Gordon McCarter.
The play stands as ruled. A legal catch in advance by Pittsburgh. However, being forced down, the player fumbled the football and a teammate recovered. We must bring the ball back to the spot of the fumble. The Seattle's football, 1st and 10.
By the way, copies of this dissertation will be available in the parking lot after the game.
Very good.
So to sum it all up, it's a first down to 21. Tommy King goes wide to the right. Brian Blades wide to the left. The running backs are Chris Warren and John L. Williams. Seahawks try to take advantage of the blocked punt. Warren straight ahead to the 19-yard line, but there's a flag on the play. Well, the penalties and the mistakes have really broken down the action in this first quarter.
Oh, it's off to a blazing crawl.
Illegal motion against the Seahawks.
Illegal motion, number 81 offense, 5 yards, repeat first down.
It's against the wide receiver, Tommy Kane.
Used to play hockey.
Who'd he play with, Joe?
Mario Lemieux, huh?
Well, close enough.
That's close enough. Oh, my goodness.
They might say Lemieux here in Pittsburgh or in Canada, where he's from.
I know he's great.
That is true. Tommy Kane and Mario Lemieux played on a midget hockey all-star team together in Canada. Good pressure by Gerald Williams, the nose tackle.
Dave, Craig wanted to throw that ball. He had a receiver, but the receiver's back was still turned. Now watch Dave Craig. He's going to get his arm go. Woo! He held on to that thing because his receiver wasn't quite open. And right there, that showed me Dave Craig's hand is pretty good shape, Mel, because he started forward with that ball, and yet he was able to hold on to it.
From the shotgun on 2nd and 19, his pass is complete to John L. Williams at the 24-yard line, but well short of a first down. David Johnson, the left corner, on the stop. Dave Craig in his 12th year out of Milton College, which is no longer in existence. He's played in 3 Pro Bowls. Pickup of 6 yards on the play. It'll be 3rd and 13.
Naturally, he likes to play football, folks, but in talking with him yesterday, he said he kind of wished he was home with his wife, Sue, and his sons, Matthew and Michael, celebrating his birthday. This is one of the things that he doesn't like about the game. Takes him on the road away from his family.
4 wide receivers in the game. Blades, Clark, Chadwick, and Kane. As the Seahawks try to convert another 3rd down. Craig under pressure hits Lewis Clark at the 19. And he's well short of the first down.
Good defense by Pittsburgh. They put some pressure on Craig again. Johnson made the play well short of the first down. Pittsburgh knew how much yardage they could afford to give up that time. Got some pressure back there on Craig, and now it's field goal attempt time.
This will be a 36-yard attempt for rookie John Casey, who is 6 for 8 from this range.
With Craig holding, too, you know. Dave hasn't been holding in a while.
And he was a little concerned about it. He's held in some preseason games and in the Pro Bowl, but he'll be glad to get this one out of the way, and it's successful. And that'll settle him down a little bit, I'm sure. A 36-yard kick by John Casey has given the Seahawks a 3-0 lead.
Oh, he looked scarier 25 years ago.
Did I?
You looked scared.
I don't know. I thought I hit it well for an innocent groom.
You were innocent for the 60s.
Any regrets?
None. You?
Just one.
What?
That I waited 25 years to give you this.
The 25th anniversary diamond, a brilliant celebration of the loving marriage.
I've got goosebumps.
Well, you've given me goosebumps for 25 years.
Some trucks don't know when to quit.
Like a rock, I was strong as I could be. Like a rock, nothing ever got to me.
Over 98% of all the Chevy trucks sold in the past 10 years are still on the job. Chevy trucks.
Like a rock,
The trucks you can depend on. The trucks that last.
like a rock.
It's gone. But it isn't.
Vicks introduces an incredible new cough drop.
It's gone, but it isn't.
A cough drop so powerful, it keeps on working even after the drop is gone. It's extra strength Vicks, a new kind of Vicks with twice the Vicks vapor medicine to relieve your cough and help your scratchy throat and stuffy nose feel better, even after the drop is gone. New extra strength Vicks, extra strong to work
even after it's gone.
NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the trucks you can depend on, the trucks that last. By New Coors Cutter Non-Alcoholic Brew. By Norelco patented lift and cut shavers. We make clothes comfortable. And by First Brands Corporation, makers of Prestone Advanced Formula Antifreeze. Mel Proctor with Joe Namath back at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh with the visiting Seahawks leading 3-0 on a 36-yard field goal by John Casey, who will kick off. Kicking to Rod Woodson, who's third in the AFC in kickoff returns. And a short kick. Woodson will take it at the 8-yard line.
out to the 27 where the tackle was made by Brian Davis, and we've got another flag down. So let's see what this is all about. A lot of penalties in this first quarter.
Flag on the play.
Holding against the Steelers.
Holding, number 94, receiving team during the return. 10 yards, first down.
It's against Jeff
TV
Brady,
timeout.
number 94. And we'll return to Pittsburgh in a moment with the Seahawks leading 3-0.
17-yard line.
Wouldn't it be great if there was a country club just for regular guys and a few things were changed, like monster carts allowed on course, water hazards shall no longer be hazardous, spikes encouraged in the clubhouse, only really great premium beer served, like cold filtered Keystone and Keystone Light, bottle beer taste in a can.
Hey, I'm in the sand again. All right.
Nice shot.
Thanks. Wouldn't that be great?
When her car needed a new battery, you got the heavy-duty model. When the tires started to wear, you spent a little more for the good ones. And even though the brakes could have made it a while longer, you said replace them. And now that fall's here, you're using Prestone Antifreeze. Its patented formula exceeds every performance standard set for the antifreeze industry. For corrosion and freeze-up protection, Prestone, we make it better than we have to. For some very good reasons.
Last year, the average price of a car with standard anti-lock brakes was over $40,000. But today, all that's changed. Because we understand the real value of safety. We put anti-lock brakes standard on more models than anyone. Even on our least expensive Cavalier. Chevrolet.
The heartbeat of America.
The cars more people depend on.
That's today's Chevrolet.
It took all day, but they finally came up with one very big idea. What do you bet they printed on a laser jet from Hewlett-Packard?
Welcome back to Three River Stadium with Seattle leading Pittsburgh 3-0, and the Steelers beginning this drive from their 17. Neil O'Donnell in his second year out of the University of Maryland, a third-round pick last year. He didn't play at all last season. To Barry Foster, he's got some running room across the 25 to the 26-yard line, where he's brought down by Eugene Robinson. And now let's go to Bob Costas in New York for an update. Robert?
Mel, here is the way the Jets jump in front of the hapless Colts at the Hoosier Dome. O'Brien pitches to Johnny Hector. Whoops, right back to O'Brien. Did the Colts bite? You be the judge. Rob Moore 20 yards ahead of everybody. Touchdown, 47 yards, 7-zip Jets.
Official time.
Thank you, Bob. And we have a measurement. It's been about the most exciting thing that's happened in this first quarter. A lot of penalties, 4 against Pittsburgh, 2 against Seattle.
You know, looking back at that Monday night game, folks, you Pittsburgh fans probably recognize that last play. That was the play that got the Steelers going, that Foster draw play off to the left side. They should use that more often, I have a feeling.
And Barry Foster has picked up the first down. Foster the lone setback. Double tight ends in the game, Adrian Cooper and Eric Green. Foster again. And he's got another first down out to the 43, but it's fumbled the football, and the Seahawks think they have it.
Boy, these Seahawks cause some turnovers. Defensively, they create turnovers.
Foster fumbled the football earlier, but the Steelers recovered, but this time they cough it up, and Seattle will take over. Tony Woods recovering the fumble for the Seahawks. The Seahawks are number 1 in the AFC in takeaways with 23 now.
Watch somebody reach in. Watch somebody knock it out right there. Como, I believe Como threw his hand in there and knocked that ball loose.
So the Seahawks will begin this drive at the 41 when we return.
Kinder? Gentler? No way.
Like a rock, I was strong as I could be. Like a rock,
Nothing ever got to me.
Chevy S10 pickup, powered by the biggest V6 available. Chevy trucks.
Like a rock.
The trucks you can depend on, the trucks that last.
Most of my friends don't know what they're going to do after graduation, but I've already locked in guaranteed skill training in the Army. Qualify now and you can reserve even the Army's most sought-after technical training, up to 12 months in advance, through the Army's delayed entry program. Sure, being a soldier won't be easy, but then nothing worth having ever is.
Can a razor cut your beard off below the skin without the blades even touching your face? It can if it's a Norelco. Norelco's patented lift and cut system lifts the hair, so when it's cut, it can actually drop below skin level without the blades even touching your face. Are you getting a shave this incredibly close and exceptionally comfortable? You are when you shave with Norelco. Norelco, we make close comfortable.
The explosive Fighting Irish have ignited the scoreboard in 1991, averaging over 40 points a game at home. Next Saturday, Lou Holtz and company battle the Trojans of Southern Cal in the nation's oldest intersectional rivalry. The Fighting Irish, USC. Notre Dame football is home on NBC.
53, Darren Como jars this ball loose. The 10-year veteran out of Arizona State. Smart defensive football.
And a first down for the Seahawks at the 41, their 23rd takeaway of the season. They lead the AFC in that category, and Craig will put it up on first down. Short pass to Brian Blades, who holds on at the 30, close to another first down. He should have it. Tackle made by Carnell Lake and Dave Johnson. Seattle with their 23rd takeaway and their 12th fumble recovery.
And that was coming into this game. Now, Seattle's done a wonderful job of taking the ball away, their defense, but the offense you're looking at, well, certainly under the leadership of Jeff Kemp, had some problems while Jeff was playing, and they turned the ball over a tremendous amount of time.
Kemp was intercepted 12 times, and not only did the Seahawks lead the league in takeaways for the AFC, but giveaways as well. They've given the ball up 23 times coming into this game. Pitch to Chris Warren, and Warren is brought down at the 28-yard line by the right cornerback Rod Woodson. Warren, who began his collegiate career at the University of Virginia as a defensive back and then transferred to Ferrum. Joe promises to sing the Ferrum College fight song later in the telecast. Near the end of the first quarter.
Warren had to get about 25 to 30 tickets. It's only about a 4-hour drive down to Virginia, where Chris is from. Got some folks up here. It's his first start at running back. Hasn't shown out the way he'd like to yet. First quarter's certainly been all Seahawks. They've controlled the field position because of the turnover and the blocked punt.
And that will be the final play of the first quarter, with the Seahawks leading 3-0 on a field goal by John Casey.
This Heisman Trophy moment is brought to you by AT&T, the right choice. In 1973, Penn State's John Cavalletti brought the Downtown Athletic Club to tears when he dedicated his Heisman Trophy to his younger brother, Joey, who suffered from leukemia.
If I could dedicate this trophy to him tonight and give him a couple days of happiness, this is worth everything.
It's going to be a good week to keep in touch.
Remember the day at the ballpark when I hit the ball and ran and slid in mud and I was mud?
You had a crush on my brother?
Well, she reminds me so much of you.
AT&T Reunion Week starts this Monday, and it's just 11 cents a minute for an out-of-state call. Anywhere in the U.S. from 5 to 11 p.m. So what are you waiting for?
Hey, all right.
Just 11 cents a minute to reach anyone, anywhere, all week.
This is Milan Henelička, goaltender for the Czechoslovakian Olympic hockey team. He's taken hundreds of stitches, suffered 8 fractures, and has even been knocked unconscious. Yet he once went 11 consecutive periods without being scored on. But if you think it's tough to get something by him, Wait till you see the guys at the ticket window if you don't have your Visa card. Because once again, the Olympics don't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Recently, this couple walked out of Little Caesars with extra pepperoni and extra cheese without paying for it. It's Lotsa, 2 pizzas with extra pepperoni and extra cheese for $8.98. It's a steal.
Lotsa.
12-year veteran Dave Craig is back at quarterback for the Seahawks. He has completed all 7 passes he's attempted. And, Joe, in talking to the Seahawks yesterday, we kept hearing the word leadership used when applying to Craig.
Right. Grant Fiesel, the center, I think, put it best. He said Craig knows us. He knows how to push the right buttons. It's pretty hard for a first, second-year quarterback in the heat of battle to come up to a veteran center saying, hey, look, get yourself together. Get this block down. Craig can do that. Craig can talk to his players, and they respect him and listen to him.
And we start the second quarter at 2nd down and 7 at the 27 of Pittsburgh. The Seahawks leading 3-0. Craig to John L. Williams, trying to find an opening, and gets to the 21-yard line. Williams, the 6-year veteran from Florida who leads the team in rushing. And now let's check the ITT 10-minute ticker. Dolphins with a field goal, taking a 3-0 lead over the run-and-shoot Oilers.
That won't last. I don't believe that'll last.
That'll be a high-scoring game, I would suspect.
At least by Houston.
Your old team, the Jets, leading the Colts 7-0.
Everybody leads the Colts.
3rd down 2 for the Seahawks. They've converted 2 of 4 third-down situations so far. Warren and Williams are the running backs. They bring the tight end McNeil in motion. Craig's pass is complete to John L. Williams, and he's got the first down. Such a great receiver. He said it comes naturally. Played on a wishbone team in high school. They threw to him some at Florida, but he's got huge hands, which is one of the reasons he's such a good receiver.
An excellent blocker. That's why Brian Hinkle's caught in this chase position. You see 53, because first Hinkle's playing the run. He figures the Seahawks are going to lead with big John L., and John L. comes at you faking that block and breaks out in the flat.
John L. with some big hands. He had 73 catches a year ago. It's 1st and goal to go at the 7-yard line. Kane and Blades are split wide to the left. Clark is wide right. Williams down to the 6-yard line, where he's brought down by the nose tackle, Gerald Williams. Inside the 20, the Seahawks with 27 possessions. They've scored 9 touchdowns, 9 field goals, and have turned the ball over 3 times.
2nd down.
Yeah, that's not very good. They have struggled offensively, which is really understandable. But now that Craig's back in control, you're looking at a far more efficient offense.
2nd and goal to go. Clark and Chadwick are wide left. Blades and Kane wide right. Craig has had the hot hand in the first half so far. Williams straight ahead, close to the end zone, but stopped short. Inside the 1.
I'm sure everyone watching this game had the feeling that Craig was calling a play for John L. Williams at the line of scrimmage, audibleizing because of what Dave Craig sees of the defense, and John L. has a pretty good hole in there. He just gets tripped up.
3rd down on the 1-yard.
Nearly got in for the touchdown, but was tripped up by, well, I'm not sure. It looked like 94. Was it 64?
64, Kenny Davidson,
all right,
who's starting today at defensive end in place of Aaron Jones, who has a bad shoulder.
Over the top. Right now, they're going to run this thing. If they run it and try to get over the top.
They got 2 tight ends in the game, Tice and McNeil. John L. Williams trying to pound it into the end zone, and he is in for a touchdown.
Over the top or through the line. Nevertheless, he got across that goal line.
John L. with his 3rd rushing touchdown of the year. And the Seahawks lead 9-0.
Just good drive by this Seahawk offensive front. No black jerseys. Not one black jersey got penetration near the area of the ball carrier. Nice blocking by John L. Williams' offensive unit up front.
And John Casey, who gave the Seahawks the lead with the first quarter field goal, will try to make it 10-0. And his kick is perfect. So with 12-10 remaining in the second quarter, the Seahawks have opened up a 10-0 lead on a touchdown by John L. Williams.
The white zone is for immediate.
We didn't design the new Mazda MX-3 to be like apple pie. Jalapenos were what we had in mind. Because if something's not worth having an opinion about it, it's not worth having. And with the only V6 in its class, the MX-3 is one hot chili pepper. Hey, you're not John Doe. Why drive his car? The new MX-3 from the new Mazda.
It just feels right.
A new arrival. A tire so special, it may last as long as you own your car. The new XH4. Congratulations. It's a Michelin. Backed by an 80,000-mile treadwear limited warranty. Michelin. Because so much is riding on your tires.
Inside your smooth-running engine is a torture chamber. And under these grueling conditions, only one leading motor oil meets the world's toughest requirements for viscosity breakdown. Castrol, the only leading motor oil that provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol. Why make things tougher on your engine? Castrol, engineered for today's smaller cars.
Now, get a free officially licensed NFL team hat when you buy a case of Castrol GTX.
Attention Murphy Brown fans. This Monday night, Murphy Brown is a repeat. Look what NBC has instead. Danielle Steele's bestsellers. Lee Horsley in Palomino. Patrick Duffy and Linda Carter in Daddy. Two of Danielle Steele's hottest. Palomino Monday, Daddy Wednesday, both on NBC.
The Steelers will have to leave an earlier wake-up call. Last week against the Giants on Monday night, only 3 first downs and just 17 rushing yards in the first half. And in the first halves of their last 2 games, they have been shut out. They're behind 10-0 so far this afternoon. Rod Woodson takes it in. And he stopped at the 26-yard line. Tackle made by Nesby Glasgow. And it's time for the Xerox Sports Facts. I'm sure, Joe, you know the answer.
I know
to
the
this.
answer.
Who is the only Steeler to pass for over 400 yards in a game? I say it's Terry Bradshaw.
No, it's not, but I'm going to let the folks at home guess before.
You know because you've looked.
What reasons don't make any difference? Of course I know.
You said Mark Malone when we first saw that.
You don't have to tell that.
Well, I'm not going to let you get away with it.
You know who it is.
We ain't telling. Neil O'Donnell back to throw out to Merrill Hodge. And Hodge out to pick up the first down at the 40. The best play the Steelers have had so far. That one of the runs by Barry Foster and a gain of 12 yards on the play.
Another good screen pass play here. Let's watch DeMonte Dawson, the center, number 63, out in front. Here he gets a block. Oh, my goodness, he knocked Wooden nearly out of the play, and Wooden came back to get his hands on the ball carrier on Hodge. There's DeMonte Dawson.
First down for the Steelers. Hodge trying to get outside. Doesn't have the great breakaway speed, but a very effective inside runner and good blocker. Tackle made by Patrick Hunter. And I give up. Who is the only Steeler to pass for over 400 yards in a game?
I'll give you a tip. He didn't wear, what did he wear, a face mask?
No, he didn't. Bobby Lane, number 22, threw for 409 yards. And may have been the only quarterback who enjoyed a better nightlife than you did.
You're right, boy. He sure did. Bobby Lane, he was terrific.
Second down, 6 at the 44. The Seahawks leading 10-0. Hodge and Foster, the running backs. Barry Foster has fumbled twice in the first half, and he is stopped for a loss. Getting in quickly, the outside linebacker, Rufus Porter, who was all over him.
Nobody laid a hat on Rufus Porter. He lined up on the right side of the defense and just came down the line hard. I'm sure one of these, on the right side of the screen, folks, you'll see 97 come across there unblocked. You see that? Not one Steeler helmet was on Porter. Nice hustle by Porter, but you've got to believe that one of the Steelers should have been assigned to get in front of him.
So the Steelers facing their second third down situation. They are the worst in the league at converting third downs. The league average is 37%. They're below 30%.
Hey, they're only 6 out of 48 and anything over 3 yards on third down, which is horrendous.
Hodge, kind of a strange call on 3rd and 7, and the fans don't appreciate the call by Chuck Knoll and Joe Walton.
You know, I asked Coach Knoll about these third down situations, and hey, he said he's satisfied with the package. He's satisfied with the third down plays that Joe Walton has in this package. Coach Knoll says it's the execution out there. We're hurting ourselves. We're not beating people.
Well, you're the analyst. You describe what they're doing to Jeff Bryant. Dan Straczynski gets off a good kick, and Chris Warren signaling for a fair catch. The Seahawks will begin this drive at the 12-yard line. With 9:29 remaining in the second quarter, it's 10-0 Seattle.
On 12-yard line.
Remember our whatchamacallit?
We're here.
Oh, check it out. Great. Hi.
How about that thingamajig? And that doohickey? At like you know who.
Bring the fish. I caught this one. Look at that.
With what's her name's?
You'll never forget your big moments with the new UC1.
Nice catch, Dan.
It's the smallest, slimmest Canon 8mm camcorder yet.
Oh, hi, Dad.
What you call the who's or what's it?
The Canon UC1. You see one, you want one.
A safe journey. That's what it's all about out there on the road. So, of course, that's an important goal at Mazda. As we introduce the first of 5 new cars that improve your sense of control, that are stronger but not heavier, even one with dual airbags already built in. 5 new cars just as pure and personal as the Mazda Miata. Drive safely.
The power of untapped, untouched potential. At GTE, we'll put that power in your hands with a new generation of precision materials. It's the power to make your products faster, stronger, more efficient, and to bring breakthrough ideas to life. We're giving it to others, we can give it to you. The power of a new manufacturing edge. Because at GTE, the power is on.
NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by the new Mazda. Mazda, it just feels right. By Xerox, the document company. By Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires. And by GTE. At GTE, the power is on.
Mel Proctor with Joe Namath back at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. The Seahawks leading 10-0 on a 36-yard field goal by John Casey and a 1-yard touchdown run by John L. Williams. And Seattle will begin this drive at the 12-yard line. With Williams and Warren in the backfield. John L. Williams smothered by Greg Lloyd, who is so quick.
You said it, Mel. Quick. Quick coming across that line of scrimmage. Fast. Relentless. What desire. Top of the screen, 95. Anticipates the snap and just barrels into John L. Williams and knocks Mr. Williams backwards. I know the folks up in Seattle haven't seen Big John L. knock backwards very often while attempting to block. Tremendous play.
3 yards on the play. Craig's pass complete to John L. at the 15-yard line, where he's wrapped up by Brian Hinkle, the linebacker, dropping back in coverage.
Hinkle let him get a little bit. He let him get a little bit that time, Mel. About 6 yards, as you say. It's going to be third down. Hinkle, Mr. Durable. I mean, this guy is there game in and game out, doing his job.
And the ITT 10-minute ticker. New Orleans now leading Tampa Bay 10-0. No change in the Dolphins-Oilers game. Minnesota has tied New England in the second quarter. The Colts on the scoreboard on a field goal. The Seahawks have converted 4 of 6 third down situations, much more effective than the Steelers so far. Craig with a sideline pass to Tommy Kane, and he's out of bounds. So it's incomplete. Kane didn't have both feet in, and a disconsolate Dave Craig, who thought he had a first down.
Well, the ball's a little bit high, and it just run out of room. Really, the ball was pretty good. I mean, it's well thrown. It's just a little off target. Now I guess that's Craig's first incompletion. What is he, 9 out of 10 or something at this point? Been remarkably accurate for being inactive so far and having the thumb injury to his right hand, his passing hand.
Rick Tootin into punt. Bootin' Tootin', they call him. His first kick was for 44 yards.
Bootin' Tootin'?
I swear I did not make that up. Gets off a good kick, driving Rod Woodson back inside the 30. Woodson looking for blocking. And he's brought down at the 40-yard line. Woodson not only a fine quarterback, but one of the better return men in the league, and the Steelers need to get something going.
Putting it together.
If you needed to put together a lot of information into a finished document of the highest copy quality, copy on both sides, reduce, enlarge, insert tabs, add covers, and make 12 perfectly bound booklets all in about 10 minutes, then there's only one copier that can do the job. The Xerox 5090, the way to put it together. Faxing, scanning, copying, printing. Xerox, the document company.
When her car needed a new battery, you got the heavy-duty model. When the tires started to wear, you spent a little more for the good ones. And even though the brakes could have made it a while longer, you said replace them. And now that fall's here, you're using Prestone Antifreeze. Its patented formula exceeds every performance standard set for the antifreeze industry. For corrosion and freeze-up protection, Prestone, we make it better than we have to. For some very good reasons.
The white zone is for immediate.
We didn't design the new Mazda MX-3 to be like apple pie. Jalapenos were what we had in mind. Because if something's not worth having an opinion about it, it's not worth having. And with the only V6 in its class, the MX-3 is one hot chili pepper. Hey, you're not John Doe. Why drive his car? The new MX-3 from the new Mazda.
It just feels right.
58% of business travelers change their plans at least once. No problem. Call 1-800-HOLIDAY. Holiday Inn. Stay with someone you know who really knows you.
Steeler offensive coordinator Joe Walton looking for some answers. His team has been shut out in the first half of the two previous games and on the verge of being blanked again. What's wrong with this offense, Joe?
One thing is Eric Green hasn't seen the ball yet, or Lewis Lips. They haven't been able to get the ball downfield.
Neil O'Donnell's pass is complete to the 50-yard line to Dwight Stone, and that's the first pass completed to someone other than a running back. He's completed only 3 passes, and the 2 previous were to running backs.
Right, that's the first time O'Donnell went downfield and threw the ball smartly. You see Eric Green, the tight end, getting off the line of scrimmage, but he's picked up by Como and really doesn't have anything by the time the ball is gone. O'Donnell certainly made the right choice and delivered right on target.
First down at the 49 of Seattle. The Seahawks lead 10-0 with just over 7 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Hodge and Foster, the running backs. O'Donnell's pass incomplete, and there's a penalty marker down. He didn't get that play off in time. That's twice the play clock has expired on the Steelers.
Flag on the play.
Well, once again, this will be, counting the Monday night game,
False start before the snap, right side of the offensive line. 5 yards, still first down.
Well, I apologize. I thought it was going to be another delay. Let's look at the right side of the offensive line there. The tight end is allowed to reset. I didn't see the guard or tackle move. I couldn't tell who had that penalty called on him.
So it'll be 1st and 15 at the Pittsburgh 46. Penalties have really hurt the Steelers. Foster in motion. O'Donnell under pressure, having to scramble across midfield and out of bounds at the 48-yard line, chased out by Patrick Hunter.
Now that's one thing O'Donnell's given this team today, the ability to take that ball out of there when there's a problem and get it upfield for some yardage. There's not an open receiver, and O'Donnell will run to the right of the screen and make a little gain. Smartly pulls the ball down. Bubby Brister, nursing that knee, possibly couldn't have made this play, and that's why Coach Knoll is resting Brister. He wants him to be 100% when he comes back.
There's Bubby, who is inactive. He's the third quarterback. Rick Strom is the backup today, in case anything should happen to O'Donnell. 2nd down and 8 for the Steelers. And a mix-up. And Neil O'Donnell has to call a timeout. The tight end, Green, had gone in motion, but apparently that wasn't supposed to happen. And so O'Donnell wants to talk things over with Joe Walton and Chuck Knoll.
A safe journey. That's what it's all about out there on the road. So, of course, that's an important goal at Mazda. As we introduce the first of 5 new cars that improve your sense of control, that are stronger but not heavier, even one with dual airbags already built in. 5 new cars just as pure and personal as the Mazda Miata. Drive safely.
From the Far East to Europe. Across the Caribbean and throughout North America, only one airline covers so much of the world with so much warmth.
It was a good day for ideas. Plans for a sidewalk cafe were finalized. A river walk was proposed. And someone had the vision to bring luxury and romance back to train travel. Keep those ideas coming, and we'll keep making them look their best. LaserJet printers from Hewlett-Packard.
The nation's best playground players take it to the street. It's the biggest grassroots 3-on-3 basketball event in the nation. The Pizza Hut Pepsi Hoop It Up National Finals. Next Saturday on NBC.
6:21 remaining second quarter. The Seahawks lead 10-0. It's second down and 9 for the Steelers at the Seattle 48. Neil O'Donnell under pressure, trying to get it away to Lewis Lips, and it's incomplete. And O'Donnell got decked by Cortez Kennedy, all 293 pounds of him. Next Sunday, NBC Sports presents more NFL action. An exciting doubleheader, Cincinnati and Houston from the Astrodome. And some of you will see the Steelers against Cleveland or San Diego at Seattle. That's all coming up next Sunday. The Steelers have a tough road to hoe. They've got 3 straight road games at Cleveland and at Denver and at Cincinnati coming up.
Going to be tough. Tough on the road to win in the NFL.
Another third down situation for the Steelers, who are 0 for 2 in third down conversions. O'Donnell with time. And the pass dropped. Intended for Jeff Graham. That ball should have been caught.
Oh, yes, Graham should have had this ball. I mean, O'Donnell puts it in the right place here. Ball's just simply dropped right here. My goodness, that ball, the young rookie out of Ohio State, supposed to make that catch. I'm sure all of you folks watching the game fully realize that the pros are supposed to catch those kind of passes.
And Dan Straczynski is in to punt. Chris Warren trying to bring it back. Warren, who's done a fine job on both kickoffs and punts over the last 2 years, and this week moving into the starting lineup as a running back in place of Derek Fenner, who's had some knee problems and is inactive this week. Fair catch signal for by Warren at the 22-yard line. The pride and tradition of Notre Dame football continues next Saturday. A great rivalry as the Irish face USC. That'll be next Saturday at 1 o'clock. Notre Dame with a chance for a bowl bid with a 6-1 record, but against the Air Force yesterday they lost 2 starting defensive linemen, and Lou Holtz was very concerned at the end of that game. That's next week, USC and Notre Dame. 10-0 Seahawks, and Dave Craig will begin this drive at the Seattle 22-yard line. Chris Warren and John L. Williams, the running backs. Tommy Kane is wide right. Brian Blades is wide to the left. Play action by Craig, and he hits John L. Williams. Brought down to 27-yard line by Gerald Williams, an outside linebacker. A reminder that at the conclusion of today's game, we'll be presenting the Avis We Try Harder Award, which will be given to the game's most valuable player. Pickup of 6 yards on first down. It'll be 2nd and 4.
I like the way Seattle is mixing their plays. Running the ball occasionally on first down, throwing the ball on first down. Very efficient offense at this point.
Travis McNeil is in at tight end for the Seahawks. Kane in motion. And the give to John L. Williams, stopped in his tracks by Kenny Davidson. Defensive end making a start today, a 2-year veteran from LSU. He was taken on the second round last year.
Yeah, but I tell you what, there's a linebacker in there by the name of John Osafsky, or Jerry Osafsky, who really created some penetration there and forced that runner back. Osafsky's a bit underweight, and he was in there on that second down play. Now the Steelers have gone more or less to their prevent, nickel dime defense, what have you. There's Osafsky, only about 220 pounds, but a real heady football player.
The Seahawks are 4 for 7 in third down conversions. This is 3rd and 6. Penalty marker down. Craig is hit. The ball knocked loose. And it looked like Craig recovered. But we've got a penalty coming up. It looked like one of the Steelers moved early.
I think you're right. And these are the kind of things that are killing the Steelers. We talked about their third down efficiency on offense. And then we see a wide receiver drop the ball. Greg Lloyd is just a little bit anxious, and he jumps into that neutral zone. When the ball snapped, he's caught. So they're going to go from actually a punting situation to the Steelers to a 3rd down and 1 opportunity for the Seahawks.
The 6th penalty against the Steelers. They've been penalized 6 times for 35 yards. And here's Gordon McCarter.
And there's Gordon McCarter.
Talk to us, Gordon.
Offside, number 95, defense. The 5-yard penalty. We will repeat 3rd down. The penalty will leave the ball 2 inches short of a first down.
2 inches short of a first down. Costly penalty.
Right in the middle.
Side, right
yes, there. Right there. Now he's going to get caught. The ball gets snapped, and he's caught in that neutral zone. Could be a big penalty.
Now on 3rd and short, the Seahawks will go with 2 tight ends, Mike Tice and Travis McNeil. 4:27 remaining second quarter. Seattle leading 10-0. Derek Brills will be an eligible receiver on this play. 6 penalties against the Steelers. James Jones, a big back, was in the game along with John L. Williams for Seattle. Jones blocking for Williams, trying to pick up the first down. The Steelers don't think he has it. He needed less than a yard.
Well, you know, the Seahawks had 2 critical situations against the Raiders last week where it was a 3rd at inches and a 3rd at a yard, and they were unable to get it both times, and I think they got stopped again here.
The way things are going, pretty soon we'll be replaying measurements.
Chuck Knox didn't like the way his back fender was hitting up in the hole, but my goodness, you'd think that John L. Williams would be able to pick up this yard, but you've got to give credit to that Pittsburgh Steeler front.
Well, inches short. So the defense holds, and the Seahawks will have to kick it away. So Rick Tootin is in to kick, 3-year veteran from Florida State. With Seattle leading 10-0.
Bootin', Tootin'.
You like that?
Bootin', Tootin'. Yeah.
Rod Woodson is back deep for the Steelers. He had a good run back the last time he touched the football. High, short kick. And Woodson takes it, although it looked like he signaled for a fair catch. He started to run it back. He held his right hand up, but kind of a half-hearted fair catch signal.
I don't know why there's not a flag on the field. Monday night he put his hand up in the air just briefly, enough to be construed as a fair catch. Here he had his hand up for a fair catch, or did he? Take a look, folks. Does he get his hand up there? Yes, of course. Now what's he doing trying to run with the ball? Look at this. He's running with the ball. Now you're not allowed to do that, yet I don't see a flag on the field. That's pretty strange. A no call. I don't know about that. There's got to be a penalty for it.
Well, Woodson's upset, but I think he got a break. The penalty should have been against the Steelers.
Yes, sir.
And And this drive will begin at the 34-yard line with the Seahawks ahead 10-0. The Steelers' offense has been ineffective so far, and the give is to Merrill Hodge trying to get outside. He fumbles the football, but it's out of bounds. Boy, the Steelers are having a rough time holding onto the ball. Here are some of the headlines from today's NFL Live. Broncos running back Bobby Humphrey, who finally reported this week, admits his holdout didn't gain him anything. Bill Parcells says superior linemen and linebackers is the reason the NFC has been able to dominate the AFC and win the last 7 Super Bowls. And Will McDonough reports the NFL wants a statement from Andre Waters by Tuesday as it decides on possible disciplinary action following Waters' incident with the Saints' Eric Martin last week. And this friendly group will be with you at halftime. O'Donnell under pressure, gets it away, and it's incomplete. Intended for Jeff Graham. But a lot of pressure on Neil O'Donnell.
Yes, but Graham should have held that ball. O'Donnell did a terrific job hanging in there and finally getting the ball out to Graham, and then it's another drop. Had Graham been able to hold this pass to the left side of your screen, they would have had, I'm talking about the Steelers, would have had a 3rd down and short situation. Now it's going to be 3rd down and 8 or 9. That's the second pass that Graham should have caught.
The Steelers 0 for 3 in 3rd down situations. It's 3rd and 8. They go with 3 wide receivers. Penalty marker down as O'Donnell's pass is complete to Lewis Liss, but this play is blown dead. Another penalty coming up against Pittsburgh. Just nothing working for the Steelers offensively.
Do you think these guys, you think it's the teams or the crew? Some crews call more penalties.
Ball start, number 71 offense before the snap, 5 yards, repeat 3rd down.
This against the left guard, Tom Ricketts, who's making his first start, a local product from Pitt and Murrysville, which is about 10 miles east of Pittsburgh. It's the 7th penalty against the Steelers.
You know, you go back and you look over the statistics and say, hey, the Steelers can't get a 1st down here and 3rd down, what are the reasons? Well, they're hurting themselves. I don't care what kind of plays you're running. When you have people moving, jumping off sides, dropping passes, that's what stops the drives.
3rd down and 13 at the Steeler 31. Another flag down. Looks like somebody jumped early on the offensive line.
Well, some people will wonder, is it because of the cadence? Is it because of O'Donnell being fresh to the offense?
Ball start, 71 offense.
Ricketts again.
5 yards, still 5 yards.
2 in a row for Tom Ricketts.
Well, I'll tell you something. Tom Ricketts is concerned. He has a horse in front of him. He has a real stud in front of him up there. And big Cortez Kennedy, 96, and he's going to get you edgy, just like left tackle John Jackson was a little edgy last week facing Lawrence Taylor. Cortez Kennedy, it's very difficult to handle him with just one man, and I can understand Ricketts being anxious.
So now it is 3rd and 18. Here comes the pressure on O'Donnell. And he's in trouble and goes down at the 21-yard line. The tackle made by James Jefferson, who comes in on the dime defense for the Seahawks.
Oh, smart defense. James Jefferson was spying back there, waiting for a back to come out. No back showed. Jefferson looked for the quarterback. And when O'Donnell elected to run, Jefferson was right there to make the play. There's Tom Catlin, the defensive coordinator of the Seahawks. What a story this man is. Was on the road last March in Oklahoma City, had a heart attack on the operating table, a quadruple bypass. That was last March, folks. Here he is. He's been coaching this defense and doing a fine job, but that man is pretty remarkable to come back from that operation this soon.
Dan Straczynski's punt is taken by Chris Warren, and Seattle will have good field position at the Seahawk 44 following a 35-yard kick. And the ITT 10-minute ticker, the Oilers leading the Dolphins 7-3. New Orleans has opened up a 13-0 lead over Tampa Bay in the second period. The Jets ahead of the Colts 14-3.
New England! Look at New England scored another touchdown, huh? Boy, Minnesota's been struggling up there. You know, these coaches usually pay the price for their team's performance, and Jerry Burns and the Minnesota Vikings, well, they haven't been doing very well. There's some controversy up there about the head coaching position.
1st down at the 44-yard line for the Seahawks. Dave Craig throwing effectively in the first half. He completed his first 8 passes. Penalty marker down, and Craig throws it away. It looks like it'll be holding against the Seahawks. Pass was intended for John L. Williams. Greg Lloyd indicating it's against Seattle.
Well, you know, to block Lloyd, you almost have to hold him. To block LT, Lawrence Taylor, you almost have to hold those guys. They're so fast and strong.
Holding, number 71, offense, 10 yards, repeat first down.
This is against the right guard, Brian Millard.
Let's see what Lloyd does after this play. You see Craig just gets the ball off. Lloyd had a late hit last week, and I tell you, that's awful close to a late hit. I was surprised when Red Cash and the referee at Monday night's game didn't call Lloyd for roughing Hostetler on one particular play. And once again, that was close to roughing the passer there.
Falcons coach Jerry Glanville called Greg Lloyd the meanest man in football.
Woo!
Handoff to Williams. Guess what? Another flag down. Looked like two of the Steelers were across early.
Having fun now. There's Mean Joe Green, one of the all-time best defensive linemen. All three of these Steelers will jump, but I believe they're going to get back on the right side of the ball before it's snapped. It's going to be close. We'll wait for the referee's decision.
Well, at least they were in unison.
What could they be talking about so much here? I mean, you know, well, just say what happened, that's all.
False starts, 81 offense.
Wow. This is against Tommy Kane, a wide receiver.
Well, he sure wasn't in the middle of that formation that time, and a wide receiver having a false start is a no-no for Chuck Knox and his offense. Usually those wide receivers can't hear the cadence anyway, so they have to be peeking in at the football. They should never get caught with a false start.
So now it'll be 1st and 25 for the Seahawks. They lead 10-0. 2:33 remaining in the second quarter. The little action there's been so far has been provided by the Seahawks. The Steelers have been totally ineffective. John L. Williams wrapped up, breaks a tackle, and is finally stopped at the 31-yard line. A pickup of only 1 yard. He got away from Gerald Williams in the backfield, but couldn't turn it into a big gainer. It'll bring up the 2-minute warning. Remember, coming up at halftime, the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report with Bob Costas, Will McDonough, OJ, Bill Parcells. Chuck Knox, who has his roots in this area, is from Sewickley, Pennsylvania, just outside Pittsburgh. Played at Juniata College, located in Huntington, Pennsylvania. And both the fields at his high school and his college have been named after him.
That's right, Knox Field. I met Chuck first when he was coaching at Elwood City High School, just up the road here in Lawrence County, Pennsylvania. I actually played for Chuck when he coached our offensive line with New York Jets and when he was head coach for the Los Angeles Rams. Brown Chuck, and there's another Chuck. Boy, two classics right there, folks. Chuck Knoll and Chuck Knox.
Chuck Knoll, the only coach ever to win 4 Super Bowls. But the success of those teams in the 70s, I think, makes it somewhat difficult for the young players in the Steeler team, because fans here still remember those great teams and the performances they've seen in this stadium, and they're not getting those kinds of games, at least this year. Craig in trouble and completes it to Tommy Kane. That's a catch. He had both feet in at the 33.
Smart play by Craig, finding the open receiver and getting it out to him. We have an injured Steeler on the field right now, but Craig's under good pressure, and he's able to save some yardage by getting that ball out there. And I don't think that's a catch. I think that left foot really wasn't on the ground when he caught that football, but it's not going to make a big difference anyway. This could make a big difference, the injured player.
It's the nose tackle, Gerald Williams, who is down. Looks like an injury to his right leg.
I always used to say, Mel, only 2 bad things about football is losing and getting hurt. Let's take another look at that catch, and you tell me if both feet are down in bounds, or I'll tell you. Either way, I'm going to tell you for sure. Now he has it. Nope, that left foot's coming off the ground before he has control of it. Of course, it has to be indisputable for them to overrule the call on the field, but I think that left foot is up in the air. It's not like college football, you know, where just one foot has to be in bounds. Let's take another look at this. Does the receiver have control of the ball and both feet in bounds? and I don't think he does. Delton Hall is trying to do a little officiating there, and there comes Gerald Williams under his own power, so that's a good sign.
So Williams is apparently all right. Dave Craig has completed 11 of 12 passes. It was 1983 against the Steelers when he took over in the second half for Jim Zorn, and he's held the job since, aside from the games he's missed for injuries, but he's had a fine career. The Seahawks all-time leading passer. And now we get the 2-minute warning. With the score, Seattle 10 and the Steelers nothing.
Liberty Mutual Insurance presents Legends of the Game. He was a member of the original fearsome foursome. A Phi Beta Kappa in college, he relied on brain power as much as brute strength to excel in the NFL. He played in a record 14 straight Pro Bowl games and was named to the team of the decade for the 60s. Who was this legend?
The accident took my arm, and I thought my job. I just couldn't do what I used to. So Liberty Mutual gave me a Boston elbow. Its power and flexibility gave me back the ability to do my job, which gives me back the ability to pick up a paycheck.
Merlin Olsen helped to glamorize an unglamorous craft and was elected to the Hall of Fame, a true legend of the game.
There you are, an upper respiratory wreck, and there they are, NyQuil and a look-alike.
It may not be NyQuil, but it's cheaper. The thing is, with NyQuil, you know you won't be up tonight coughing and sneezing, and you gotta rest. You're being paranoid. This is probably made by Vicks. Here it is in teeny print. It's not made by Vicks. This may be cheaper, but I'm not taking any chances.
NyQuil, the only nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head fever so you can rest medicine made by Vicks. Also available in new liquid caps.
Chuck Knox has come a long way from his days coaching junior high basketball when his teams played against Joe Namath. And in his book, Hard Knocks, which came out a couple of years ago, he talks about you, Joe. He said, and I quote, "Then Namath came along with the knees of an elderly woman." And later in the book, he talks about a time when you guys, the Jets, were in Denver, and he was an assistant coach, and you were out, I guess, prowling around late at night, and you got a call from Chuck.
Well, it was a little after curfew. The thing was, folks, we were out there 3 days early. I mean, 3 days before the game, and they want to have a curfew. Well, things worked out. I mean, we won the game. That's all that matters. But Chuck was the kind of player's coach. You know, he's the kind of guy that could talk to his boys. His men would listen to him and relate to him. He has a unique rapport with his players, and I think that's one of the major reasons Chuck's been so successful in professional football.
John L. Williams trying to turn the corner. Brought down at the 36-yard line. But I understand that that night out in Denver cost you a little money.
It cost some money. That's right. It cost $500 fine. At that time was a lot of money.
But was it worth it?
Yes, it was worth it.
Most of my friends don't know what they're going to do after graduation. But I've already locked in guaranteed skill training in the Army. Qualify now and you can reserve even the Army's most sought-after technical training, up to 12 months in advance, through the Army's delayed entry program. Sure, being a soldier won't be easy, but then nothing worth having ever is.
Mel Proctor with Joe Namath. Back at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh, we talked about the fact it's been a bad week here with the Steelers losing to the Giants on Monday, with the Pirates losing the National League Championship Series. That trend continued yesterday with Pitt losing to Syracuse in college football at Pitt Stadium. And last night, the Pittsburgh Penguins also lost to the New York Rangers in a night when they raised the Stanley Cup banner.
Yeah, but the Beaver Falls Tigers won. I saw that in the Post-Gazette, so that was the big one as far as I was concerned. Blackhawk won, too. Slippery Rock lost, however.
Well, sorry to hear that. I'm glad Beaver Falls did well. Rick Tootin gets it away. Rod Woodson trying to run it back. Breaks a couple of tackles. And finally buried at the 18-yard line.
A gutsy play by Woodson to field that ball with the two defenders right on him. Nice play, Rod Woodson.
Good kick by Rick Tootin of 50 yards.
Boy, you'd think you'd get a little more help from your friends that time. I mean, there were two Steelers there. Leroy Thompson didn't block anyone. Kevin Smith didn't get a helmet on somebody either. It was poor blocking by the Steelers for Woodson.
The Steelers have to go 81 yards to score, and they are out of timeouts. Neil O'Donnell making his first NFL start today. Throws for Leroy Thompson, and the rookie from Penn State makes the catch. Brought down by James Jefferson. They like to throw to Thompson, who's a good receiver out of the backfield.
You know, I think the advantage right now is with the Seahawks. Even though the Steelers have the ball, O'Donnell's young quarterback still. Let's not forget that. Let's not expect too much from him. And the Seahawks defense is pretty good. For the Steelers to go 80 yards.
12 yards before the snap. Number 63, offense.
Wow. This is against the center. Dermontti Dawson, still another penalty against the Steelers. They've been plagued by penalties in the first half.
I'll tell you, for the Steelers to go 78 yards without a timeout and score or even get in field goal position is asking a lot.
That's the 9th penalty against Pittsburgh. O'Donnell gets it away just as he gets hit, and it's incomplete. Intended for Lewis Lips. O'Donnell hasn't had much success completing passes to his wide receivers or his big tight end, Eric Green, who's been invisible so far.
You know what's going to happen here? If the Steelers don't get this first down here, and last week against the Giants, my goodness, today they're not doing anything. But the penalties, they're hurting severely. But what happens now with a minute and 14 left, if O'Donnell doesn't convert, if the Steelers don't convert on this down, the Seahawks are going to get the ball back with 3 timeouts left. Maybe be able to get another field goal.
The Steelers are 0 for 4 in third down situations. O'Donnell's pass complete to Merrill Hodge, but short of a first down.
Oh, this is tough. I'll tell you what, Seahawks are going to be in great shape here.
Frustrating first half for Neil O'Donnell.
You know, I'm surprised, Mel. Without any timeouts left, you're expecting your team to go 80 yards. Okay, say go 60 yards and get in field goal position. I think that's asking too much of the young quarterback in the offense.
Punter Dan Straczynski has been busy in this first half. This will be his 4th punt. Chris Warren standing at the 30. Another high snap. And a low kick. Warren bounces off a tackle and ridden out of bounds at the 43-yard line. So the Seahawks take over with 56 seconds left in the half, and they have 3 timeouts left.
And once again, great field position. They've controlled the field position in this first half.
The Seahawks will go with 4 wide receivers. Craig has thrown the ball very well, showing no ill effects from the injury. Coming up at halftime, the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report. First down for the Seahawks at the Seattle 43. Dave Craig from the shotgun. Over the middle he goes. The pass is incomplete and intended for Brian Blades. Blades having a great year. He was a 2nd-round pick in '88. He said the day before the NFL draft, he took his daughter to church and said he prayed, Lord, please send me away as far from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, which is his hometown, as possible. And presto, he was drafted by Seattle, which is about as far away from Fort Lauderdale as you can get. But he said he loves the great Northwest now. Really enjoys it there.
And he's having a well of a year. That last pass was really first poorly thrown ball by Craig. It wasn't that bad, but it was behind Blades. Blades was open. The ball was just behind him.
2nd down 10 at the 43. Craig's pass is complete to Jeff Chadwick. At the 44-yard line, he has a first down, and Seattle will take a timeout with 41 seconds remaining in the first half as they try to pad their lead.
This is a commercial for this clever little portable CD player from Magnavox, the inventors of CD technology. I'm sorry, actually, this is a commercial for the ingenious Magnavox 13-inch TV with a built-in VCR. I'm sorry, this is really a commercial for this brilliant 52-inch TV with 100-watt Dolby surround sound. I'm sorry, wrong again. This is supposed to be a commercial for this Magnavox 386 notebook computer.
hang on, we haven't finished. Oh, I'm sorry.
The ingenious products from Magnavox. They're smart, very smart.
The Seahawks with a first down at the Pittsburgh 45, 41 seconds left in the half, 2 timeouts remaining.
John Becker, the offensive coordinator out there with the Seahawks, loves Craig's leadership. Says the guy's physical abilities aren't the greatest, but heck, I've been watching him for the last 12 years. They say Craig's too small, he has small hands, but when you look at the success he's had, the competitor that he is, I think he's one of the best.
Blades, Kane, Chadwick, and Clark, the 4 wide receivers, out of the shotgun. Craig gets it out to Jeff Chadwick. He's got a first down, and he's knocked out at the 29-yard line.
Jeff Chadwick put a smart move down on Dalton Hall that time. He pulled Hall to the middle of the field and then did a reverse pivot to get open. A really heads-up wide receiver, Chadwick. Excellent target, excellent hands. They say he's not fast. Meantime, every time you turn around, he's got a step or two on the defender. He's always beating somebody out there.
And are already within the range of John Casey, who's hit on 3 or 4 field goal attempts from 40 to 49 yards. They'd like to get a touchdown if possible. First down at the 29. Craig's pass is incomplete, intended for Chadwick.
Chadwick looking around. Greg Lloyd was in there about the same time as the ball got there. Lloyd was going for the ball. It appeared like it could be pass interference right in the middle of the screen practice. Well, on the right, here you go. Boom. Now, you want to tell me that's not pass interference? Greg wasn't even looking for the football that time. And you know what? Last week, the Steelers really got hurt by a missed call of that nature. Hodge was coming across the middle. He was hit by Gary Reasons, and Brisker threw an interception. I mean, that made the game 13-0 when it could have been 10-7 or 10-3. Bad calls, or missed calls.
Second down 10 at the 29. Craig fires deep into the end zone. It's incomplete. Brian Blades was the intended receiver, and Derek Brill's the left guard getting into it with one of the Steelers, but there's a penalty marker down.
Well, Greg Lloyd is...
personal foul, roughing the cross.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I mean, you folks watch these football games. You see some guys get some things done. Greg Lloyd's an excellent football player, but folks, that's the 3rd time since Monday's game with the Giants that Lloyd should have been called for roughing the passer, and this is the first time he gets called for roughing the passer. We all appreciate his athletic abilities, his desire out there in the field, but you really got to play within the guidelines of the game. I mean, what goes around comes around. How would the Steelers feel if their quarterbacks were taking cheap shots?
Not a very smart play either, because it gives Seattle a first down at the 14-yard line with 24 seconds left. The Seahawks still have 2 timeouts left. Craig into the end zone. Touchdown, Seattle. Jeff Chadwick on the reception.
Hey, nice play, Dave Craig in Seattle. Pittsburgh, I couldn't figure out them trying to drive 78 yards anyway and score without a timeout. They give the ball back to Seattle, and Seattle makes the best of it.
Jeff Chadwick with his first touchdown reception of the year to make it 16-0 Seahawks.
He's not very fast, they say, but this man has a way of getting open, Jeff Chadwick.
John Casey's kick makes it 17-0 Seattle, and this is like a nightmare unfolding for the Steelers because they're on the verge of being shut out in the first half for the 3rd consecutive game.
Maybe take another look at this play on the left side of the screen. Craig gets good blocking. Chadwick will run it in and then break out to the sideline. The defender doesn't know where the ball is. That's Carnell Lake. And there's Chadwick for the touchdown. How does Dave Craig feel about it? Well, let's take a look. Whoops. Sometimes a quarterback doesn't get to see the finish, but whenever he finds out, feels pretty good about it.
That's his 3rd touchdown pass of the year. And the first game against New Orleans, before he broke his thumb, he threw for 2 touchdowns. A 5-play, 57-yard drive. Certainly a big play was the roughing the passer penalty against the Steelers' Greg Lloyd, which gave Seattle a first down at the 14-yard line.
Huge play.
Steelers self-destructing in the first half. Their offense very ineffective, and the penalties are killing them.
You know, maybe it's the stadium. Did you see the Pirates play the last couple of games? They couldn't score either. I mean, it could be the stadium's kind of keeping the home teams under wraps, huh?
No, of course not.
They kick it low. Ron Woodson picks it up. And Woodson has run out of bounds at the 35 with 12 seconds left, but the Steelers are out of timeouts.
Yeah, but you still go downtown. 12 seconds left. Hey, why not get Dwight Stone running as fast as he can all the way downfield? Throw that thing about 60 yards, and maybe you get a break. So what if you get interception? It's going to be way downfield. The clock will run out. This way, and I bet the Steelers don't try this, folks. This way, if they give it a shot, they have a chance at pass interference, a big play, maybe get a score. You think they're going to go for the long bomb here? I'll bet they don't. I hope they do.
Well, they line up 3 wide receivers to the right side. All 3 of them head downfield, and O'Donnell's pass is complete.
Brilliant. A 15-yard out. What's that going to do?
Lewis Lips exchanging pleasantries with Brian Davis. 5 seconds left in the half. They'll move the chains. It's first down at the 44-yard line.
Throw it deep.
Seahawks have 2 defensive backs back near the 25-yard line, and Eric Green with his first reception of the game, and that will be the last play. And the fans booing the Steelers, who were totally ineffective offensively in the first half, and they trailed 17-0. The Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report with Bob Costas, Bill Parcells, and O.J. Simpson coming up.
He's Tom Flores, general manager of the Seattle Seahawks. In his 29 years in the NFL, he has won 4 Super Bowls. But throughout his career, he has never forgotten his roots.
Giving young people opportunities has always been important to me. That's why I've worked as a United Way volunteer throughout my NFL career, helping young people like these in Seattle's El Centro de la Raza program. I want to give courage, hope, and love to these young, beautiful people, to give them the same chances I had growing up. Here, they receive help so they can stay in school, and counseling so they can mature and make their contributions to a better community and a better world. When you give to the United Way, you're showing that you care about them. So now, they would like to thank you. Everybody ready?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Gracias, Tom.
Yes, gracias. The United Way. It brings out the best in all of us.
This message furnished by the National Football League. An accusation.
I'm being harassed by a man.
A denial.
I never touched you.
But when it leads to murder, will Gillespie find the truth? An all-new Heat of the Night. Then what kind of mother would refuse medicine that could save her child's life?
Our religion forbids it.
Is it freedom of religion or murder?
They don't have a right to murder their child.
All new Law and Order after Heat, NBC Tuesday.
High bias tapes, now available at all Payless locations.
In Oregon, we waste lots of energy in the form of hot water. Water that drips from leaky faucets, water that flows from wasteful shower heads, water that's wasted simply by using the wrong load settings on washing machines. In fact, each year, this waste exceeds the volume of water in Lost Lake.
The Mike Tyson tell-all book on our next A Current Affair.
This is the Domino's Pizza NFL Live Halftime Report. Brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Nobody knows like Domino's how you like pizza at home.
Okay, as we promised on the pregame show, Bill Parcells and Bill Walsh will be here now at halftime to talk about the 49ers' problems. But before we hear from them, let's take a look at this to set things up.
For a decade, the 49ers have been a symbol of National Football League excellence.
But this year, San Francisco occupies last place in the NFC West, their worst start since the strike season of '82. The loss of Joe Montana to injury has left them without a proven leader and with many unanswered questions. The 49ers' rushing attack has been anemic. Their leading ground gainer is quarterback Steve Young, who's picked up 215 yards to go along with a team-leading 3 rushing touchdowns.
Obviously, our defense didn't play well.
The once dominant San Francisco defense has been vulnerable to a ground attack. Ranked 3rd in the league against the rush last year, the 49ers' rushing defense has plummeted to 18 through the first 6 games.
We've played well enough to win each ball game that we've been in. It's not like we're getting blown out, but we're making the mistakes at the wrong time, either offensively, defensively, or special teams that's costing us the ball game.
49ers special teams have been anything but. They were exposed last week against the Falcons, allowing a blocked punt and then this 100-yard kickoff return by Deion Sanders.
You can sense a little bit of panic around here now, but we can't think about those things. We can't think about what's going to happen if we continue to lose. We've just got to turn it around because we do have the talent to win.
Okay, down to Miami now, where Bill Walsh is working today's game. Oilers and Dolphins. We'll turn to him for his thoughts. Bill, what's your assessment of the 49ers' current state of affairs?
Well, they haven't lost a game by a touchdown yet, so they've been very, very competitive. They've been in every game. They could very well have won them. But on the other hand, they have a number of younger players who really haven't been assimilated or haven't been indoctrinated in the winning tradition of the San Francisco 49ers. And each phase of the game at some point has failed them along the way. And so it's not just one critical area. It's the entire operation of the team. Its functioning is not up to the standard they've had in the past.
Oh, I think the main thing here is that this is the first time that San Francisco's defense has really failed them. You know, usually you could count on 2-3 touchdowns at the most against San Francisco, but you know, a team puts up 39 against you, that does shake your confidence no matter what. I think it's a combination of injuries, defensive line, not being able to put the pass rush on, therefore their pass defense suffers, and also special teams gives up 2 touchdowns last week.
Bill, even though they might have been past their peak, how much did they miss guys like Ronnie Lott and Matt Millen?
Oh, no question. Ronnie Lott in particular can make plays near the line of scrimmage. He can still make those big hits. Roger Craig clearly would have been the best running back on the 49er roster this year, and he can still do certain things related to their specific offense. They have failed to run the ball. My guess really is, my estimate is, that they have the worst set of running backs in the National Football League at this moment. And we did a Charger game a few weeks ago. Chargers had 4 running backs superior to anything on the 49er roster. So a void in that area, really. And then a breakdown, as Bill says, in defense, something that had not occurred in a previous game like that was against Bill's team in that playoff thing. I still have nightmares over that damn game. But meanwhile, the 49ers are just breaking down in individual areas, yet they have yet to lose by a touchdown, and they still can resurrect themselves in a sense and be a playoff team.
Well, how do you fix it? Very briefly, how do you fix it in the middle of the season?
I don't think it's going to be fixed, Bob, right now. I think there are too many areas where they're breaking down. You know, they've got to put 3, 4, 5 wins together, get their confidence back up. That's the only way they'll make a run.
Bill Walsh?
I agree. They're going to have to just methodically get better and better through practice, through preparation, and then perform better. And then those that just aren't performing up to 49er standards can't be on the field. They're going to have to sift through their personnel and find those guys that can win for them.
All right, Bill. And Bill, thanks very much. They still haven't been able to make a trade to beef up the running game. The last several drafts have not yielded impact players. The Niners are 2-4, and we're back as NFL Live halftime activities will continue.
Mayor's got a new beau. Who could it be?
Good morning. Oh, my God. I laid down with dogs.
James Garner's Man of the People. Then put on your thinking caps.
Did I ever mention that I happen to be a published author?
Letters to Penthouse don't count.
Pacific Station's in jeopardy.
You're Alex Trebek.
Pretty neat, huh? At 8, 7 Central tonight.
Welcome to AM/PM.
Where is line?
Line?
The line for the hot dog deal.
There's no line.
Not possible. Isn't AM/PM offering a pair of hot dogs side by each for just 89 cents cash money?
2 Oscar Mayer hot dogs and all the toppings you can pile on.
Incredible. All you want, so many choices and no lines. The hot dogs?
Get in line.
Fill up for much less at AM/PM.
A School with New Rules, Monday at 7:30.
This is the Domino's Pizza NFL Live Halftime Report. Brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Nobody knows like Domino's how you like pizza at home.
Okay, we welcome those of you watching the game from Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh. Bob Costas, along with the Juice and Bill Parcells. Now, in Miami, the Dolphins have a 10-7 halftime lead over the Oilers, but folks, you won't believe what's happened to two of the best quarterbacks in the game. There have been a combined 8 turnovers in this game. Dan Marino was booed by the fans in Miami when he came out, but of course he's not responsible for the Dolphins' plight. Their entire team, offensively and defensively, has been plagued by injuries. Both Moon and Marino were intercepted 3 times apiece in the first half, and each team lost a fumble. That's Louis Oliver intercepting Moon. Then Moon throws one right into the hands of Bobby Harden. That one entirely Warren's fault. But Marino also was victimized. This one deflected and intercepted by Bubba McDowell as he hurled it right into coverage. Later in the second quarter, Moon again. And it's Louis Oliver, the free safety again, who intercepts it. So his second of the first half, and the third time overall that Moon was intercepted. This one is very costly. Again deflected, and it's picked off by the rookie Darrell Lewis. It's his first interception in his NFL career for the Oilers, and he brings it back 33 yards for a TD that briefly gave Houston the lead. But finally, Marino connects. Mark Clayton with the catch. 19-yard touchdown. That gives them the 10-7 lead at halftime. Juice?
Well, the only thing I can figure out is these are two great quarterbacks, and they must be having trouble with the similarities in colors and uniforms, because Moon has thrown it to a couple of wide-open defensive players, and Marino has thrown into coverage all day. But the thing that disturbs me is that I'm an old AFC guy, and Houston should be one of our best AFC teams, and they're having a lot of trouble winning on the road. They beat Cincinnati early, but Cincinnati turns out they're not a great team. They lost in New England. They barely got out of New York with a win over the Jets, and this is a game that they got to run the football. This is a game that the Miami Dolphins are throwing 5-6 defensive backs at them. They need to run the football if they're going to be a Super Bowl caliber football team.
Now, Miami's without a run stuffer like John Offerdahl. Kansas City ran the ball right through them last week. They do have a big back in Lorenzo White. Speaking of the Oilers, should they shift strategy like Juice says?
Well, I think they might have to, but that's not the problem. I mean, if you're Jack Pardee, you got to go in there last week, and you got to convince this team that the team they're watching on film against Kansas City, 42-7, the worst beating the Dolphins have taken in a very, very long time, it represents a threat to you. And quite obviously, Houston didn't believe that they do represent a threat. Now, they're finding out now that they do, and if they don't watch it, they're going to get upset.
All right, quickly through the rest of the scores. At the Superdome, the Saints, in pursuit of a 7-0 record, shutting the Bucs out early in the third quarter, 16-0. The Saints' defense has not been scored upon in the last 18 consecutive quarters. They're doing it without starting quarterback Bobby Hebert. He's got a sore shoulder. Steve Walsh is in there. Hebert has not played at all. Ironhead Hayward with a hamstring injury, inactive for the game, but apparently the Saints don't miss them, leading 16-0. In the game you're watching, Seattle with the 17-0 lead. But I don't have to remind you, Seahawks fans, that they had a 17-0 lead at home against the Raiders last Sunday night and lost the game in overtime. The Jets are in front in Indianapolis early in the third quarter, 14-6. The Colts are 0-7. They're averaging 7 points a game, lowest figure in the league, but they have beaten the Jets 4 consecutive times, and last year they overcame 14-0 and 14-3 deficits in the process of beating the Jets. But of course, this year the Colts are decimated by injuries, Bill.
No, that's exactly right. But you know, the Colts are, for the first time in a few weeks, have a chance to win this ball game, and they don't get too many chances. So based on the recent history, Jets and the Colts, I don't think the Jets are resting too comfortably in that locker room with a 14-6 lead.
You got to feel for Jeff George, though. He's without Eric Dickerson again in this game. He's played behind 7 different offensive line configurations already this year. He's getting no protection at all.
Yeah, but he got his team down the field a little bit this week. He's had him in scoring zone a couple of times. You know, there's nothing to say he can't get in there a couple more times.
All right, one more score to give you. In Foxborough, the New England Patriots with a 14-13 lead over the Vikings. The Vikings just got a Fuad Reveiz field goal to pull to within a point. It's early in the third. And we're out of here, sending it back to the field in Pittsburgh for the second half. We'll see you a bit later on in the day.
The Seattle Seahawks, who have never won here at Three Rivers Stadium, lead the Steelers 17-0 at halftime. Hello again, Mel Proctor along with Joe Namath, and the Steeler offense has been totally ineffective. They have guilty of 10 penalties in the first half. That's a season high. They've been dropped passes. Guys have been offsides. Almost everything that could go wrong has for the Steelers offensively.
Well, you know, at the beginning of the game, we said don't expect too much out of O'Donnell. All right. Now, they blame Joe Walton, they blame Chuck Knoll for the offense being so dismal, not making third down conversions. You folks have seen the drop passes. You've seen the penalties. You've seen the fumbles. I mean, the players are coming apart out there. These guys are pros. They're getting paid, and they're not playing up to their paychecks. I just think they're playing poorly. You can't point the finger at offensive schemes.
Rod Woodson is brought down to 22-yard line. The Coors halftime stats.
The turnovers make a difference there for sure. It doesn't show much about the penalties, how they hurt you. It doesn't show you about the drop passes, how they hurt you. There you see 10 penalties for 64 yards in the first half alone. I mean, that's just too much.
First down for the Steelers at the Pittsburgh 23. Dwight Stone in motion. And the give is to Barry Foster, who fumbled twice in the first half, and he's brought down at the 34 by Jeff Bryant. What those stats also don't point out is the fact that the Steelers only 3 times were inside Seattle territory, and one of those occurred in that last desperation drive.
That's right. Seattle has really had good field position and controlled the Steeler. Well, I shouldn't say Seattle's controlled the Steeler offense. I think the Steelers have hurt themselves as much as Seattle has hurt them.
Chris Callaway is wide to the right. Lewis Lips is wide to the left. He caught only 1 pass in the first half. Neil O'Donnell to Lips, who takes a hit but holds on, and that's a catch and a first down at the 36. Patrick Hunter made the stop.
It's a nice catch and a good hit by Hunter. You see one-on-one outside with Louis Lips, meaning it's man coverage, and I'm wondering why the Steelers don't throw more to their wide receivers today or get it down to Eric Green a little bit more downfield. They're getting single coverage on the outside now, and with Louis Lips, I'd like to throw the ball to him one-on-one.
Lips, Dwight Stone, and Eric Green had 1 reception each in the first half, and 2 of those occurred on that last drive. Play action by O'Donnell. Being pressured. And he's brought down by Jeff Bryant, who missed an initial shot at him, but finally tackles him for a loss.
Well, I tell you what, Dwayne Harper and Patrick Hunter did some job of coverage the last time. I mean, they were all over the receivers. O'Donnell had nowhere to throw that ball to, and it was because of Hunter and Harper. I mean, they had some excellent coverage there in the secondary.
Loss of 5 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd and 15. Merrill Hodge and Barry Foster, the running backs. Lips is wide left, Callaway wide to the right. O'Donnell in trouble again. Throws on the run, and it's caught. Great reception by Chris Callaway. But not much of a gain.
Well, I tell you, though, it does set up a better third down situation. O'Donnell did a good job of getting back there, keeping his poise and finding a receiver. He had some pressure coming on him that time, and what he did is he got back about 7 yards of the necessary 15 he had to get, and so this is making it a more makeable third down situation, even though the Steelers have been dismal at making these conversions.
It'll be 3rd down and 8. Stone and Lips both split to the left side. O'Donnell unloads complete to Leroy Thompson, and he's stopped in his tracks at the 36. A loss on the play, and Pittsburgh again failing to convert a third down situation. The Steelers will have to kick it away.
Jacob Green got back there, forced O'Donnell to unload it quickly to his only receiver. O'Donnell can't be faulted for that. He's not blocking up there. Jacob Green got back in O'Donnell's face. O'Donnell had to unload. He gave it a chance, and it was far short of the first down.
The 5th punt of the game for Dan Straczynski. High driving kick by Straczynski, and Warren makes the fair catch at the 12-yard line. So the Steelers unable to move on their first possession. A 48-yard punt, and the Seahawks take over, leading 17-0.
If you order a suit designed around the way you're built, you have to wait about 2 months. If you want a house designed around the way you live, the wait is 2 years. But if what you desire is a car designed around the way you drive, you don't have to wait another day. the 1991 Acura Legend Coupe.
Let me just cut in here with news about a pretty exciting non-alcoholic brew. See, it doesn't matter if you're a log cutter or a dog cutter. You're going to love a Coors Cutter. It tastes like beer because it's brewed like beer. Thing is, Cutter's special yeast doesn't produce all that alcohol. So whether you're a stud cutter or a spud cutter, a Coors Cutter goes down smooth and easy as you please. Nothing cuts it like a cutter.
A company can learn a lot in 125 years. Valvoline has. You learn in the lab, you learn on the road, you learn on the racetrack. As you learn, you make your product better. And better, and better. Today's Valvoline will keep your engine cleaner than ever before. And cleaner means more protection against engine wear. 125 years of quality. That's why people who know use Valvoline.
NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Acura Automobiles. Experience precision-crafted performance. By the U.S. Army. Learn how to get an edge on life. Be all you can be. By Valvoline Motor Oil. People who know use Valvoline. And by Hertz. We never forget who made us number one. We're Hertz. We're America's wheels.
The attendance today, 54,678 at Three Rivers Stadium, but right now they're working on the thumb of Steeler quarterback Neil O'Donnell. Seahawks ball as they begin this drive at the 12. Chris Warren trying to get outside. Hit from behind by Carnell Lake, who drags him down. The converted college linebacker doing a good job at strong safety for Pittsburgh.
Artie Nickerson getting up there. Here you see O'Donnell trying to throw the ball, now testing that right thumb. We saw some blood. Obviously it has some kind of laceration in the area. Right now he's testing to see how much strength he has in the thumb and if he can control the ball, and it appears he's going to be okay.
If he can't continue, Rick Strom would be the backup today. Second down and 11. 4 wide receivers in the game for the Seahawks. John L. Williams out to the 19-yard line. Gain of 7 on the play. Gerald Williams made the tackle for the Steelers. There's the backup quarterback for the Steelers, Rick Strom, a 3-year veteran from Georgia Tech. Bubby Brister is inactive this week, as I want to give him a couple of weeks to recover from a knee injury.
Seahawks taking their time, 17-point lead. They're not in a hurry. Their defense has kept the Steelers quiet, along with the Steelers offense keeping themselves quiet. So why should the Seahawks hurry?
The Seahawks are 4 for 9 in third down situations. Craig's pass juggled but caught by John L. Williams. It was a terrific catch, great concentration, but he doesn't get enough for a first down.
Yeah, well, that was a tough pass to catch, and John L. did a fine job getting it. Craig was under some pressure, but Greg Lloyd once again was back there in Craig's face on the left side, right in front of you. 95, you see him fighting through here through Hitchcock, and he's going to get up in there, and the ball's pretty hard to catch, but he again gives the quarterback just a little extra shove.
Lloyd's motto is, you've got to get them before they get you. He picked up a roughing the passer penalty in the first half. The 5th punt for Rick Tootin. And Tootin gets off a pretty good kick. Rod Woodson with some room. And he stopped at the 35-yard line by Rufus Porter. 50-yard kick by Tootin. And with 9:22 remaining in the third quarter, it's still 17-0 Seahawks.
10 years. His hair is a little thinner.
I don't remember her looking so beautiful.
Not bad. Our next Chuck. Hello, stranger.
I'm hardly a stranger.
Well, you are late.
I know. You shouldn't have waited 10 years for this. Happy anniversary.
The Diamond Anniversary Band. Tell her you'd marry her all over again.
You sure can pick an appetizer.
long after you've turned off the engine of the Acura Vigor, it will continue to run through your mind. The new Vigor from Acura.
Elvira here, back with a helping hand for Halloween. Coors Light, it's the official beer of Halloween. And just what an adult party needs to be a howling success. Oh. What? You don't believe me? What do you need, like a sign from above?
Be sure to visit this display wherever you buy Coors Light.
And it's just perfect for when friends drop in. See what I mean?
September 8th, 1970. I Dream of Jeannie ends. What has she been up to since then?
I shall resign the presidency.
Do you believe in miracles?
Well, you see what she's up to next. All new, I Still Dream of Jeannie, the movie. NBC tonight.
On Monday night against the Giants, Neil O'Donnell took over for an ineffective Bubby Brister in the third quarter and completed 11 of 21 passes and led the Steelers on 4 scoring drives, 2 touchdowns, 2 field goals, but he's had his problems this afternoon. Barry Foster on the carry. O'Donnell, another in a long line of quarterbacks from the University of Maryland. Of course, Boomer Esiason of the Bengals is from Maryland. Stan Gelbaugh back up in Phoenix. Frank Reich, Buffalo. Scott Zolak is a rookie, the third quarterback for the Patriots. And another former Maryland quarterback is Seattle's tight end, Mike Tice.
Yeah, these guys are all still playing. Of course, Tice has been switched to tight end. We have an injured Steeler down on the field right now.
Barry Foster is down. Foster is shaken up. And getting back to the Maryland connection, Neil O'Donnell gives a lot of credit to the Terps coach, Joe Krivak, and the offense they use. He said it's very similar to that employed by many NFL teams. And when he got to the NFL, he was already quite familiar with a number of plays that were in the offense.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's familiar with this offense, though.
Not sure anyone has seen this offense before. And Foster's being helped off the field, replaced by 4-year veteran Warren Williams. Foster, the Steelers' leading rusher.
See if you can see where he hurts that right leg. Nope, you really can't see where he hurt it. But he had to have help leaving the field, so something is bad wrong.
So Warren Williams has carried the ball only 9 times all year, is in the game now. The give is to Merrill Hodge, and he gets nothing as Jeff Bryant got him by the ankles. And the Hurts 10-minute ticker. The Dolphins leading 10-7 over Houston. I thought you said that was going to be a high-scoring game. Let's get it going.
I'm amazed. Everyone out there knows the Dolphins can't play defense. How are you holding that run and shoot to 7 points? And New England is still ahead.
That looks like Bobby Bonilla. Bobby Bonilla, member of the Pittsburgh Pirates, who just hinted that he might leave via free agency. Either he or Bobby Bonds or Andy Van Slyke had good series. This pass is complete to Dwight Stone, and he is gone for a touchdown. Well, finally, the Steelers come alive on a touchdown pass from Neil O'Donnell to Dwight Stone. 57 yards, just what the Steelers needed.
Beautiful pass by Neil O'Donnell, giving these fans, well, some of them something to cheer about anyway. The second half comeback, is it possible? The Steelers have been horrendous the last 3 games in the first half, but have bounced back in the second half. Maybe they'll do it today.
They were behind 20-0 against the Giants. About half the crowd left and missed an incredible comeback as they came back to tie it up and then lost it on a field goal. And Gary Anderson's kick is good. So finally the Steelers get their wake-up call at the 7:57 mark of the third quarter. And it's 17-7 Seattle.
Hello?
Hi, Sam. Listen, I really need to go over these numbers with you.
Listen, can you hold on for a second?
Some things are simply too good to be interrupted. The Legend sedan from Acura.
Hello. Sam, are you there? Sam?
This is a commercial for this clever little portable CD player from Magnavox, the inventors of CD technology. I'm sorry, actually, this is a commercial for the ingenious Magnavox 13-inch TV with a built-in VCR. I'm sorry, this is really a commercial for this brilliant 52-inch TV with 100-watt Dolby surround sound. I'm sorry, wrong again. This is supposed to be a commercial for this Magnavox 386 notebook computer. Hang on, we haven't finished. Oh, I'm sorry.
The ingenious products from Magnavox. They're smart, very smart.
Every year, for the past 11 years, Hertz has been rated the best overall car rental company by a survey of renters. For over a decade, 19,000 renters considered car selection, reliability, cleanliness, and the quality of the company's service. For the 11th year in a row, we're America's #1 way to rent a car.
Hertz, we're America's wheels.
A new arrival. A tire so special, it may last as long as you own your car. The new XH4. Congratulations. It's a Michelin.
Dwight Stone, who specializes in the long bomb, had an 89-yarder in the first week of the season and has just hauled in a 57-yarder from Neil O'Donnell as the Steelers get back in this game. O'Donnell with his first touchdown pass of the season. Gary Anderson's kick taken by Chris Warren at the 7. Out to the 32-yard line. Good run back by Warren.
On the left side of the screen, you'll see number 20, Dwight Stone, make a beautiful adjustment on the ball. Right there. He was covered by Dwayne Harper, and Harper had good position, but it was all Stone adjusting nicely to the pass delivered by O'Donnell. You'd think that young O'Donnell would get a big kick out of this, but he knows there's more work ahead. He's not going to get too excited. He's a cool customer.
Seattle leading 17-7. Chris Warren and John L. Williams are the running backs. Tommy Kane goes in motion. First down to 31. Dave Craig to Warren. And he's hit by Carnell Lake and dropped for a loss. The Steelers' defense seems to be fired up as a result of that touchdown pass. The crowd has also come to life for the first time today.
Well, they haven't had much to cheer about here at Three Rivers. Carnell Lake all over John L. Williams that time as Craig was under pressure from the outside.
Steelers have outscored the opposition 102-65 in the second half. And remember, on Sunday, the Seahawks led the Raiders 17-0 at halftime and lost that game 23-20 on a Jeff Jaeger field goal in overtime. So they're capable of blowing a lead, and the Steelers quite capable of coming back. Craig from the shotgun underneath to Kane. Tommy Kane run out of bounds at the 42-yard line, and he appears to have the first down. Kane, who's been hobbled by injuries the last 2 years, but he had 24 receptions coming into the game.
Left to right, Kane will make the catch, and then he's going to get some help from Lewis Clark, 84. Right here, he kind of shields Carnell Lake, and Kane is able to get upfield to make the big first down. I say big first down because the momentum had shifted. The Steelers' defense was fired up. That first down the Seahawks just made may calm down Craig's offense and take the momentum away from the defense of the Steelers.
4 wide receivers in the game for Seattle on first down. Craig for Chadwick, and he's got it, but was he in bounds?
That's beautiful. I mean, that is absolutely beautiful. What a reception by Jeff Chadwick. 9 years he's in the league out of Grand Valley State, wherever that is, Mel. Watch him leave his feet right here and pull that ball in with his right hand first and then clutches it with his left hand. Brilliant catch by Chadwick, who had beaten Dalton Hall.
Chadwick got a touchdown catch in the first half. By the way, Grand Valley State is in Michigan.
Okay.
So the Seahawks trying to answer following a long touchdown pass by Neil O'Donnell. It's first down for the Seahawks at the Pittsburgh 33. John L. Williams gets the call. Down to the 30-yard line, where he's brought down by Carnell Lake. 5:27 remaining third quarter. The Seahawks lead 17-7. Steelers go to the dime defense with 6 defensive backs. And the Seahawks with a shotgun. 3 wide receivers on the right side. Chadwick is in motion. Craig's pass complete at the 22-yard line. That was Brian Blades, who's been quiet today. Tied for the league lead in receptions coming into this game.
Every time they go to him, he seems to be able to hold on to the ball. Brian Blades made a commitment earlier in training camp, said he wanted to be better. And my goodness, he's a lot better than even he had anticipated as far as his numbers are going this season. There he is. He's beating Richard Shelton to the inside right now, 24, and makes the fine catch for the first down.
The play is being reviewed.
And they're going to review this play.
All right, folks. Remember, there has to be undisputable evidence to be overruled. In other words, we have to be able to tell for sure that Blades did not have control of the ball. Now, you tell me, does he have it for sure or not? We can't even see. You've got to stay with the play that's called on the field from that angle. From this angle,
The play stands as it is. Completed pass. First down, Seattle.
The play stands. It's a completion and a first down at the 22-yard line. John Becker saying that Blades is playing as well as anybody in the league right now, and that's all due to the dedication Joe talked about in training camp. John L. Williams inside the 20. Brought down by Donald Evans, the right defensive end. Blades said, as you mentioned, he's concentrating on the little things now and also trying to get more yardage after he's hit, trying to break tackles and make things happen.
he's done it all better this year than he has in the past. He's been a Pro Bowler before. I mean, he had a heck of a rookie season. Dropped off a little bit just because I think they weren't getting the ball to him enough. I want to see this guy have opportunities, just like I think Dwight Stone ought to get more opportunities, and certainly Eric Green in the Pittsburgh offense.
2nd and 7 for the Seahawks at the Pittsburgh 19. Tommy Kane is in motion. And Kane holds on. He's brought down to the 15-yard line. A pickup of 4 yards on the play as David Johnson made the tackle. Barry Bonds here today, along with his teammate Bobby Bonilla. Saw him earlier. Certainly a big disappointment for the Pirates, as they were eliminated by the Atlanta Braves. The Braves losing to the Twins in the first game of the World Series last night. 2 teams going from last place to first place. First time that's happened in Major League Baseball history. 3rd down 3 at the 15. Seahawks leading 17-7. Flag down. Looked like the right tackle, Bill Hitchcock, might have moved early.
Full start, 76, offense. 5 yards, still 3rd down.
Hard to miss him. 6'6", 291 pounds, out of Purdue.
And he has a black belt in karate. Like he needs a black belt in karate, huh? 6'6", but he has it. Was a defensive player for his first few years in college at Purdue, and then they switched him around his senior year to offensive lineman, and he's developed nicely.
He's from Canada, Quebec, Canada. After he got out of high school, he was a bouncer in a bar for a couple of years before he finally decided to pursue a football career at Purdue. 3rd down 8 following the penalty. Craig hits John L. Williams, breaking tackles inside the 10 of the 9-yard line. And it'll be 1st and goal to go for the Seahawks.
John L. Williams put a move down on Brian Hinkle that time that helped him get the 1st down. Brian Hinkle was in excellent position, but Big John L. on the left side of the screen will be able to elude Hinkle right here. Here you go. Right now, Hinkle zeroed in, but look at that move by John L. and he gets upfield to make the 1st down. My goodness gracious, 231 pounds with such agility.
Pro Bowl selection last year and also named the Seahawks most valuable player. Dave Craig's had a big day. Completed 21 of 24 passes. Craig's pass is dropped by Tommy Kane.
I'll give a little credit to Richard Shelton that time that got in the middle of Craig's pass. There's some fisticuffs happening out on the field.
Indeed. Donald Evans of the Steelers locking horns with Bill Hitchcock, the guy who has the black belt. He's the wrong guy to mess with.
That's right. I'll bet Evans doesn't know he has a black belt, huh? Gosh. 6'6".
And a former barroom bouncer. So he's been in a few scuffles. Gordon McCarter and his crew sorting this one out. We have 1:38 left in the third quarter. Seattle leads 17-7. The Seahawks dominating the first half, but Seattle giving up a touchdown in the second half on a long throw from O'Donnell to Dwight Stone.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 66, Pittsburgh. Number 76, Seattle. Both men were slugging. Both men are disqualified from the ball game.
Offsetting penalties, but both men are ejected from the game. Donald Evans and Bill Hitchcock, the right tackle.
Well, you know, this may hurt the Steelers more than the Seahawks at this point, even though Hitchcock's been playing pretty well. The defensive line is thin of the Steelers. You just see the end of the fight right here. Now, you see, Seattle's going to be able to counter with the 12-year veteran Ronnie Lee at right tackle. How the Steelers are going to juggle their defensive front remains to be seen.
Gordon McCarter explaining this to Chuck Knoll as both Evans and Hitchcock have been ejected from the game. Craig Vesey has replaced Evans. And it looks like Ronnie Lee, the 13-year veteran who was expecting to see a lot of action anyway, has replaced Hitchcock. There's Lee, who went to high school with Earl Campbell. That's how far back he goes. They were high school teammates in Tyler, Texas. He's in his 13th year.
Yeah, he had a lot of good years down at Miami. And right here is Vesey, who is now in the game. Remember, though, we mentioned that Aaron Jones was out of the game already, and there's goes Evans. The defensive line is depleted somewhat for the Steelers.
It'll be second and goal to go for the Seahawks at the 9-yard line. They lead 17-7. There goes Hitchcock.
Naughty, naughty boys.
The 10th play of this drive coming up. John L. Williams and Chris Warren are the running backs. Two tight ends in the game, Tice and McNeil. And Blades is split out wide to the left. Tice in motion. Craig underneath to Tice, the tight end, who's smothered at the 3-yard line. The Seahawks don't throw to their tight end very often. That's only the third reception of the year for Mike Tice.
Well, Tice was in kind of a pattern where he's supposed to occupy some people. Brian Blades came blazing through there running the corner pattern, and then Tice smartly moved back to the inside. He's a big target, too. I mean, he can catch the ball at 6'7". He's a great target. Has the Steelers now, the Seahawks on the 3-yard line.
The Hurts 10-minute ticker. Miami leading Houston by 3. New England still holding on against the Vikings. Third and goal to go at the 3-yard line. 4 wide receivers in the game for Seattle. Craig into the end zone. Incomplete, intended for Brian Blades, and broken up by Rod Woodson. That's a good matchup, two of the best.
Oh, Woodson did a good job of being in position that time. Nearly made the interception. He turned around. Up at the top of the screen, you see Woodson turn to the outside. Well, he's never going outside. He's eyeing in at the quarterback all the way. Nice play by Rod Woodson.
Great athletic ability. The former Big Ten hurdles champ going high in the air to knock that one away. And it'll bring up 4th down. The Seahawks will try a field goal. This will be from the 11. A 21-yard attempt by John Casey, who's 2 for 3 from this range. He hit on a 36-yarder in the first half. Dave Craig puts it down, and the kick is good. Well, the Seahawks unable to get a touchdown. They'll settle for a field goal, and they now lead 20-7 with 38 seconds left in the third quarter.
working to be the best they can be. Teammates, sponsored by the U.S. Army. As backfield mates in Miami, Jim Kick and Larry Zonka were nearly inseparable. Close friends, both on and off the field, Kick was a fine runner, receiver, and blocker, helping Zonka reach the Hall of Fame. Zonka returned the favor, blocking for Kick. A relationship so close, they became known as Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Teammates in life who made the Dolphins the best they can be.
I can't tell you how it feels when you're way out there on your own tracking the bad guys. How it feels leading a skilled team that's the eyes and ears of the whole outfit. When all your training is coming alive. But finding those tanks and telling the air cavalry right where to hit them, I can tell you exactly how that feels.
At Acura, we believe that the best way to discourage limited thinking is to design cars in an environment without limits. The NSX, precision-crafted performance from Acura.
The temperature never drops below Xerex. That's very important to remember, especially at a time like this, when it's very deserted and very cold. Ah, you did remember Xerex Antifreeze. The temperature never drops below Xerex.
John Casey, who just kicked a 21-yard field goal, his second of the day for the Seahawks, will kick off with Seattle ahead 20-7. 38 seconds left in the third quarter. Rod Woodson is back deep. Low line drive kick. And Woodson lets it roll, and it goes into the end zone for a touchback. And we've received word that the Steelers running back, Barry Foster, was injured earlier, injured his right leg, and he will not return.
Sprained right ankle, I believe he has. Well, the Steelers struck quickly the last time with the big bomb to the outside. Let's see if they go back to it. Give their wide receivers some opportunities downfield. Give Eric Green some opportunities downfield. Certainly, without Foster in the backfield, I don't think they're going to continue to try to run as much as they have.
Warren Williams has replaced Foster in the backfield. It's Williams and Hodge. Williams goes in motion. Neil O'Donnell's pass incomplete. A good play by Dwayne Harper, but it may have pass interference.
No. Well, maybe so. I mean, the flag's there, and it is pass interference. It looked like good coverage to me, but his left hand may have been up on the backside. I don't know. It just looked like very good coverage to me.
Pass interference. Number 29 defense, automatic first down.
It's against Dwayne Harper, and you can hear his reaction.
Sure, on the left side of the screen. Let's see what happens here. Well, got his hand up around his head. Well, right there's a case in point. So they're giving Stones a chance. They're going downfield. You don't always have to complete them. Sometimes you get a call like this. Sometimes the defender interferes with the wide receiver. It's a positive play.
The tight end Green goes in motion. O'Donnell gives to Merrill Hodge. Brought down at the 34-yard line. Hodge grew up in Pocatello, Idaho, yet was a Steeler fan as a kid. He said one Christmas his parents gave him a Franco Harris Pittsburgh Steelers uniform. His brother got a Dallas Cowboys uniform, and they used to go head-to-head in the living room using the couches as goalposts. And he said the Steelers won every time.
Yeah, Wade, his brother. You know, he was bigger.
We'll be back with the fourth quarter from Pittsburgh in a moment. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
Tonight on Erie, Indiana, Simon's little brother gets zapped into a mummy movie. But then, where's the... Erie, Indiana, NBC Tonight.
Whenever you're hungry, there's time for real. A real and rich filling for great crunchy taste. Rave that's rich filling, rave that's great taste.
Rave, the great crave.
The most talked about car of the year. Hardly. Don't bet on it. No way. Introducing a real car. The Coupe de Burgerville 2. an evening or forever, visit your authorized Burgerville dealer today. And don't come whining to me if you miss the entry deadline.
Hi, I'm Tom, and this is my pal Barney. How'd I get to know him? Well, he was new here, see, and it was lunchtime.
Coffee break. It was coffee break.
Oh, whatever. So he was sitting next to me.
Actually, I was in front. I was sitting in front of him. No big deal.
Yeah, and he was chomping on this rave. Hey, did I say chomping? He wolfed it down. That delicious, crispy, crunchy rave. That big, rich filling of real cheddar.
And real bacon. Don't forget, real bacon.
Who's telling this, you or me? And he didn't give me a single bite. Didn't even give me a glance. Just like now. Hey, Barney. Barney.
Rave.
Oh.
The great crave.
News doesn't stop for the weekend. Neither does News 8.
Mel Proctor with Joe Namath back at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh, with the Seahawks leading the Steelers 20-7. And I want to say hello to all the folks in Honolulu, Hawaii, watching this game on KHON television.
Boy, I did a couple of All-Star games over there in the past, and those people love their football, and they're great hosts over there, you know?
Well, I was very fortunate to have worked there for 5 years. Maybe they'll keep a spot open for me.
Yeah, they might. Who knows? Great Falls, Montana is also watching the Steelers and Seahawks today.
Are you big in Great Falls?
No, but Montana's pretty big.
The Steelers began this drive at the 35-yard line. Neil O'Donnell under pressure and tripped up. Looked like Jeff Bryant got him by the ankle.
Good pressure by the Seahawks front, disrupting the second down play. O'Donnell nearly broke out of there with his good movement.
Loss of 5 yards, third down.
You got to have a little more protection for this man back there.
The Seahawks have lost Cortez Kennedy, who's going into the locker room to have his left wrist examined. He's already playing with a bruised left knee, but now his wrist is hurt.
Oh, he's tough. He's a joy to be around. Those Seahawks really like him. His work ethic is good. When he gets to practice, he hasn't been able to practice the last couple of weeks because of his knee, and now he has a bad wrist.
Joe Nash has replaced him at tackle. And the Steelers have been plagued by penalties all afternoon. See another flag flying in the air. They had 10 penalties in the first half alone. That's a season high in one game. And another illegal procedure penalty, this one against the right tackle, Tunch Ilkin.
What's wrong with the offense, Chuck? I don't think it's by design all the time. I don't think the fans that watch the Steelers feel that it's totally by design. These guys, the players, are just hurting themselves more times than not.
Third down and 18. O'Donnell can't find anybody open. Lofts a pass downfield, incomplete, intended for Chris Callaway. Eugene Robinson defending on the play, and a frustrating afternoon it's been for O'Donnell, with the exception of that one long touchdown throw to Dwight Stone. He's had a tough day.
Well, he had no receivers open. Beautiful coverage downfield by the Seahawks initially. O'Donnell had to leave the pocket, and then he still couldn't find anyone open. He's shopping around. Look at him. He's looking downfield. He's trying to find somebody now, but there's no one to go to. Good defense by the Seahawks.
Straczynski kicks it away. Chris Warren signaling for a fair catch. And again, the Seahawks will have pretty good field position. They'll begin this drive at the 36. Following a 38-yard punt. 13:54 remaining fourth quarter. It's 20-7 Seattle.
For those of you looking for the big taste of Miller Genuine Draft, in a light beer, we proudly present cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft Light. Also available in 12-ounce sizes.
It's about style. It's about power. It's about control, the security of standard anti-lock brakes. It's about $12,000. The all-new Grand Am Sports Sedan. Excitement with purpose.
We gotta agree. Pizza or cheeseburger?
Domino's, just what you want.
Nobody knows like Domino's.
Domino's Pizza's Bacon Cheeseburger Pizza Feast. A medium pizza piled high with ground beef, bacon, and an extra layer of cheese.
Nobody knows like Domino's.
We don't make your pizza till you make your call. So call for a Bacon Cheeseburger Pizza Feast. Now just $8.99. 2 for $12.99.
Nobody knows like Domino's. How you like pizza at home?
NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Call Domino's Pizza right now, and you'll be enjoying a hot, delicious pizza when the game is over.
Welcome back to Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh with 13:54 remaining. It's 20-7 Seattle. Dave Craig returning today, celebrating his 33rd birthday. And he's had a big day, completing 22 of 27 passes, getting a touchdown throw to Jeff Chadwick in the second quarter.
And no interception.
Chris Warren making his first start today to the 39-yard line, a gain of 2 on the play. The tackle made by Gerald Williams. And the moment you've been waiting for, Xerox Sports Facts. What is the biggest comeback in Seahawks history? I know you know that.
I have my hand up, but nobody's calling on me. Let's not tell them right now, though. We'll come back with it. The Steelers are not out of this, folks. I mean, they're only 13 points down. We've seen them score defensive touchdowns before, turn around here, whatever. I promise you, the guys on the field don't feel like they're out of it.
The defense must feel like they're going to have to win the game because the offense has been so ineffective. And the Steelers have been penalized 11 times. John L. Williams to the 42-yard line. Brought down by Jerry Olsavsky and Gerald Williams. And what is the biggest comeback in Seahawks history? Sure, Joe, you said you knew. What is it?
I know, of course, in '81 against these very same Steelers. Not the same guys, but an 18-point deficit. Can the Steelers come back from a 13-point deficit today?
Well, Steelers have never lost to Seattle here. They're 3-0 against the Seahawks at Three River Stadium. 4 wide receivers in the game for Seattle. The Seahawks have converted 5 of 12 third downs today. Craig for Blades, incomplete at the 40-yard line. Richard Shelton back defending, one of the nickelbacks.
Oh, good defensive play back there. Craig smartly waved Blades upfield, but Shelton wouldn't let him elude him. Look at this. He gets right up there. Hey, that looked like just a drop pass, though, by the time it finally got to Blades. It looked like it simply went through his arms, but Shelton was in excellent position.
And Rick Booten-Tootin is in to kick again for the Seahawks.
Booten-Tootin. I wonder if he has a license plate on his car like that. Huh?
Probably says Booten. Low kick to Rod Woodson. These are the kind that are run back. But good coverage downfield by the Seahawks, and he's dropped at the 16. Doug Thomas hustling downfield to make the tackle on Rod Woodson following a 39-yard punt.
The all-new Pontiac Grand Am. You can own it for its new overhead cam power, its driver's interior, its standard anti-lock brakes, and you can own it for under $12,000. The new Pontiac Grand Am. Excitement with purpose.
Those figures for the meeting, you don't like them?
Some things are so reliable, they seem invisible.
Confusing, right? They're fine.
For the last 9 years, Canon has been the #1 choice for copiers of uncompromising quality.
No, really, tell me. You can tell me. They're fine. I'm your friend, tell me.
And if you haven't noticed, that's exactly how it should be.
We're not friends anymore.
From compact to advanced digital color to high-speed copying systems, the choice is Canon. Call 1-800-OK-CANON.
There's a big sense of pride in owning a company.
I think customers have noticed the change in the company and the change in us.
We've got this 24-hour hotline in case something happens while you're out on the road.
If you're in a hurry, we've added extra buses, get you in and out fast.
We want to make sure that our customers see that we can provide them with the type of service that they expect and deserve.
We love to make people happy. That's a part of our business. Keep you coming back.
We want to see them back at our counter again many times. So why rent from anyone but an owner?
NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Pontiac and your local Pontiac dealer. We build excitement. By the Big Taste of Miller Genuine Draft Light. Big draft taste comes to life. By the employee owners of Avis. We try harder. And by Canon, America's #1 choice for copiers of uncompromising quality.
The Steelers need to get something going quickly. First down at the 17. Seattle leading 20-7. Neil O'Donnell's pass is complete to Chris Callaway for a first down at the 31-yard line. O'Donnell has had a lot of difficulty getting the ball to his wide receivers and especially to his tight end, Eric Green, Joe, who has only one catch.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised at that. You see Houston's come back on Miami some. And New Orleans, of course, is playing like the New Orleans Saints have played all season long.
That on the Miller Genuine Draft Light 10-minute ticker. How about New England leading the Vikings by a touchdown? I saw New England upset the Oilers earlier this year.
And I saw them upset Indianapolis also. At that time, it was an upset anyway. I mean, it was an upset in the first game of the season.
First down for the Steelers at the 30. O'Donnell downfield and intercepted, picked off by Eugene Robinson of Seattle. Somebody better tackle him.
What a play by Eugene Robinson, though. My goodness, the ball was a little underthrown, but Robinson got his head around just in time to get the O'Donnell pass. O'Donnell has to feel a little down because he didn't have that ball out there farther, but hey, give credit to Robinson. Watch this ball on the left side of the screen. It's going to be a little underthrown, and then Robinson, moving from the center, is just going to get over there to make the play in time. Nice catch.
That is the 4th interception this year for Eugene Robinson, and the first interception in Neil O'Donnell's NFL career. He threw a touchdown pass earlier to Dwight Stone, but now he's intercepted.
Had Brister thrown that ball, this place would have been rocking with boos. I mean, that was an underthrown pass. Right now, the folks are a little bit more patient with O'Donnell. They know the effort is there. They know this guy's wanting to play. He's going to get everything, give everything out there, but he's just in his second year. The pass was underthrown, and again, Robinson made a nice play. There's Eugene. Yes, you should be happy.
Robinson, who leads the team in tackles, now with his 4th interception, 7-year veteran from Colgate.
On the field, we have now ruled the ball is dead. Back here, down by contact with the opponent. First down, Seattle.
Well,
the play is being reviewed.
Yeah, let's review it. I'm going to see that again. I didn't realize he was down myself.
So it'll be Seattle's ball, but they'll bring it back.
Take another look, and let's see where Robinson gets downed by contact. Wow, if you could see that contact, I'll tell you what. If you can see that contact, you're seeing something I don't know about. Certainly Robinson didn't feel that way.
I bet they overturned this one.
How is he down by contact? He doesn't have control of the ball until he comes down on the field in the first place. He doesn't make the catch until he touches the ground. It's not a legal catch until he touches the ground. So how is he down by contact?
Well, you've got me convinced. But
I'm telling you, the contact was made before he even made a legal interception. It was not caught until both feet was on the ground. So I don't understand it. Let's take another look. To make it a legal catch, he has to make contact with the field. All right, I don't see the
After
contact.
review, the play stands. First down, Seattle at the 35.
I like your argument, but it didn't work.
Yeah, well, Seattle's not in an arguing mood right now. They have the lead and the ball. That's the big thing. Eugene Robinson and feeling good, while O'Donnell knows that he didn't get that ball out there far enough.
Apparently the evidence was inconclusive. So the Seahawks begin this drive at the 34-yard line. Dave Craig under pressure, trying to scramble, but loses his footing and goes down back near the line of scrimmage. The Seahawks lead 20-7 with 11:07 remaining. Gerald Williams on the stop for the Steelers.
Well, the defense of the Steelers looked like they came after Craig at times. One of the first times on first down where the Steelers just brought everyone up there and says, we're going to stop the run. They were fully expecting the Seahawks to run that time.
And it gets tougher for Pittsburgh. 3 straight road games at Cleveland, Denver, and Cincinnati coming up.
Yeah, well, Denver's the only quality team at this point.
About 3 road games. Nonetheless.
Yeah.
The completion to John L. Williams. Brought down by Gerald Williams.
The big thing the Seahawks want to avoid here, and I know their fans out in Seattle realize this, is the turnover. They don't want to turn that ball over from here, and you never want to turn it over. But with the lead, with the way Pittsburgh offense is struggling, Chuck Knox's offense simply wants to try and keep momentum going. Don't turn the ball over. If you have to punt, fine. Your defense has been playing a fine game.
3rd down and 8 for the Seahawks. Craig's pass complete to Tommy Kane, who breaks a tackle and may be gone. Rod Woodson runs him down at the 4-yard line. Kane beating Thomas Everett on the play, and Woodson had to chase him downfield to make the stop, but a gain of 59 yards. And it'll be 1st and goal.
Well, this is a tremendously big play because this is giving the Seahawks some insurance. Thomas Everett is way out of position to stop that play. There you see Kane carry the ball all the way down to about the 3-4 yard line.
Great play by Woodson to chase him down, but there's a flag on the play. What's new?
Well, the flag's late. It's down at the end zone. You know what? This field looks great, by the way. I think we ought to give a little credit to the ground crew.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 26 defense after the play. We go half the distance to the dead ball spot. 1st down.
And Woodson didn't like the penalties that were called last week. I don't know what Woodson did this time. I didn't even see it. But he's a little bit fed up with the way these guys have been throwing flags or not throwing flags. Here's Woodson.
64 eligible.
Let's keep it running. Let's keep it running here to see what happens. Now, where does Woodson do anything? We're told that Woodson picked up that orange pylon that marks the goal line and threw it, and the official said that wasn't nice.
So it's 1st and goal to go at about the 2-yard line. Chris Warren throwing straight ahead. But he stopped short. You may recall Warren getting into it with Carnell Lake. The big tight end, McNeil, also involved. But Rod Woodson had some rather unkind things to say about the officiating and the rules. He said, if they call things any tighter, pretty soon we'll be playing this game in tuxedos.
Oh, that demonstration foul that they called on Woodson's teammate Eric Green in that Giant game was an awful call. Right now, the Seahawks would be happy with a touchdown, but 3 points will almost put this out of reach for the Steelers. 3 points would make it 23-7. That would force the Steelers to get 3 scores to get ahead. So the Seahawks should play it close to the vest here.
2nd and goal to go at the 1-yard line. Play action for the tight end, Tice, touchdown. Mike Tice, first touchdown reception of the year.
As Craig had some game, there's big Mike Tice. Doesn't catch a lot of them, and Coach Knowles wondering what can go wrong next. Mike Tice, former quarterback, outstanding tight end for these Seahawks.
Seems like just about every one of Seattle's scores has been set up by a Pittsburgh mistake of some kind. Think of the block punt early in the game, interception, the key play leading to this touchdown. The penalty certainly figuring in, and it's 26-7 Seattle. And now 27-7. Mike Tice, who doesn't get a chance to catch very many passes. He's never had more than 29 receptions in his season, but he's got a touchdown, and it's 27-7 Seahawks.
The new Pontiac SSEI. a higher level of luxury and confidence.
People love the convenience of fax machines. What most of us don't like are funny paper faxes that curl up and are hard to read. That's why Xerox makes more kinds of plain paper fax machines than anyone else for documents that are easy to read and a pleasure to handle because they're on good old plain paper. Plain paper fax machines from Xerox, the way to put it together.
Putting it together.
Faxing, scanning, copying, printing. Xerox, the document company.
For those of you looking for the big taste of Miller Genuine Draft, in a light beer, we proudly present Cold Filter Miller Genuine Draft Light. Also available in 12-ounce sizes.
The explosive Fighting Irish have ignited the scoreboard in 1991, averaging over 40 points a game at home. Next Saturday, Lou Holtz and company battle the Trojans of Southern Cal in the nation's oldest intersectional rivalry. The Fighting Irish, USC. Notre Dame football is home on NBC.
The Seahawks have opened up a 27-7 lead on a touchdown throw to the tight end Mike Tice. Only his 6th touchdown of his career, and he's been playing for 10 years, so he has to feel pretty good about that. A short kick. Rod Woodson will take it at the 15. Woodson crossed the 30 and out of bounds near the 35-yard line, chased out by Brian Davis.
Oh, that's bad. Now, this is losing it here. Woodson is just losing control now. That's not good at all.
Earlier, he got into it with an official, now slamming his helmet down. He may have been ejected.
I don't know, but he's going to get his team backed up a little farther. It's a very emotional game, and Woodson's a fine player, and he's just fed up with the way things have been going. He's been fed up with the way the officials have been calling things the last couple of weeks, and I think it surfaced here and just didn't control it any longer.
Unnecessary roughness. 26 on the receiving team after the play. 15 yards from the dead ball spot, first down.
No, it's against Woodson, a personal foul, his 2nd of the game. He's thoroughly frustrated right now.
Well, he makes a nice run back here, but after the play, he's not too pleased with the way he's treated by Derek Dodge. Number 33 comes in just, I don't think it was that late. Now you try and figure out that shot, folks, and then you've got something. Anyway, Woodson got up and shoved the Dodge a bit, and the official was standing right there, and that's where the penalty came.
I don't believe he has been ejected, but he came very close, throwing the football down and then a helmet. The Steelers began this drive at the 25. Neil O'Donnell hits Merrill Hodge, who's stopped. Good tackle by Patrick Hunter. I think that lips on the reception.
All right, now you see Dodge come in a little bit late right there, and Woodson thought it was way late and thought it was out of bounds, too, and you can't blame Woodson for that kind of thing. Woodson knew he was out of bounds, but it wasn't that late. At least the officials didn't feel like it was late. And Woodson feels like some of those calls should be coming the Steelers' ways. None of the calls are going the Steelers' way, and Woodson's upset about it.
Season high 13 penalties against Pittsburgh today. The give is to Leroy Thompson, the rookie running back, with some room out across the 40 to the 46-yard line for a first down.
You know, Dave Craig has had a big game today. He's been injured in the past. He's had to sit out. But look what he's done when he's come back after injuries in 86, 88, and 89. Look at the records over there. 5-1, 4-2, 3-1. The passing yardage. Today's statistics are the numbers that he has today. Look at that. Huh? I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. My hat's off to David Craig. He worked hard with that broken thumb of his. He exercised that thing from day one after the injury, and it's paid off.
Jacob Green all over Neil O'Donnell, flushing him out of the pocket, and his pass is complete to Chris Callaway. He's got a first down at the 42-yard line. The tackle made by Dwayne Harper. But the Steelers have got to get downfield quickly. They trail by 20 points.
I'm surprised they're not in their hurry-up offense at this point, Tom. Mel, hello, Hank, Frank. Anyway, I'm surprised that they're not in their 2-minute offense. I mean, they need 3 touchdowns to get ahead of this thing. They need 3 touchdowns or 4 scores. Why don't they run the 2-minute offense? For the hurry-up offense.
Looking at the second most famous native of Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania.
Hey.
Joe Walton, your hometown.
Oops.
Another penalty coming up. Steelers with 13 penalties today.
False start, 71.
Wow, bad day for the local kid, Tom Ricketts. That's the third illegal procedure penalty against Ricketts, who made his first start today. He played high school ball in this area at Franklin Regional and Murraysville, then at the University of Pittsburgh, and making his first start for the Steelers, and he won't forget this day.
Either will Coach Knoll, I don't think. He allowed his team to practice without pads this week, and it was one of the goals set by the Steelers. If they played well today, they wouldn't have to practice in pads later on. Well, I'm afraid they're going to be getting those shoulder pads and hats back on.
Oh, boy. Another penalty marker down as Merrill Hodge takes it around the left end. If this penalty is against Pittsburgh, it'll be the 15th penalty of the game against the Steelers.
Is that a lot?
Yes.
I know my mother's home in Beaver Falls watching this game, and she doesn't really know if that's a lot of penalties or not, but that is 15 penalties for one team.
Yes, Paul, it is.
That is a lot. No. You can call me this. You can call me that.
Yeah, doesn't have to call me Joe. Speaking of Paul, our good friend Paul McGuire is around here somewhere.
Oh, yeah. He and Tom Flores, the general manager of the Seahawks, are good buddies from their Buffalo playing days together with the Bills.
Offside, number 97 defense, lined up in the neutral zone. Penalty declined, second down.
What do you know? This one's against Seattle. Rufus Porter was offsides.
Well, let's take a look at the penalties today. There are 21 of them that we've witnessed so far, 14 of them for Pittsburgh. The game is now going into its 7th hour. No, not quite.
Second down and 1. O'Donnell in trouble. He's hit and fumbles the football. Looks like the Steelers have recovered. It was Rufus Porter who was in there quickly, and another fight breaks out. Oh, they're getting into it pretty good down there. Big number 63. The center, Dermonte Dawson, getting into it with James Jefferson of Seattle.
I think it was just tackling him, but I tell you, Jeff Bryant, if he had that to do over again, just wish he had another chance. Jeff Bryant tried to grab that ball and run with it for a touchdown instead of falling on it. And sometimes this happens. O'Donnell just runs into a tough hit right here from his backside. He just turns around and boom! There's Porter. Now watch Jeff Bryant. He tries to pick it up, doesn't get a handle on it, and then the Steelers recover. Tunch Ilkin. Oh, they're giving the ball to the Seahawks. Ilkin didn't have control of it, got away. And that little scuffle was actually tackling one of the Seahawks that finally did recover the ball.
Well, just a nightmarish afternoon here at Three Rivers for the Steelers.
What part of this game will make the Steeler highlight film? Huh?
Give me a minute.
Well, yeah. You folks don't think that over.
John L. Williams on the carry as we're under 6 minutes. It's 27-7 Seattle. I think the part where Bobby Bonilla and Barry Bonds walked into the stadium, that'll make the highlight reel.
Well, I don't think they're Pittsburgh's favorite at this point.
Now let's check the Miller Genuine Draft light 10-minute ticker. New Orleans leading 23-7. New England now up by 15 against the Vikings.
By what?
The Jets won 17-6 over the Colts.
Jets are playing well. They're playing better than they have in any recent history. The last 5 or 6 years old, there's a dejected Neil O'Donnell. You can't blame him, but it's not all your fault, buddy. This is a team game.
First down for the Seahawks at the 40. They stay on the ground to John L. Williams. You know, with O'Donnell taking over today, and we mentioned the quarterback controversy here in Pittsburgh, I asked you if you'd ever been involved in a quarterback controversy, and you mentioned something interesting, that when you joined the Jets, the veterans on the team resented you.
Oh, yes, there was no doubt about it. Of course, that was the early days of the bonus babies, and I was one of the first there, and most of the guys on the team couldn't understand how a guy could sign for that much money. And we had an incumbent quarterback there named Mike Tolliver, and that caused certainly some controversy, along with John Hewitt, an All-American Heisman Trophy winner from Notre Dame, and Bob Schweikert from Virginia. Some keen competition until old Joe got out there and showed him his stuff.
If you do say so yourself. Third down and 7. Dave Craig is showing his stuff today.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't believe he's back to pass.
And he's got a first down in Pittsburgh territory at the 44.
I tell you, I'm surprised that they had Dave Craig back there to pass the ball. You might wonder why he's still in the game. I'd sure have him still in the game with the kind of turnovers that Seattle has had from that position. The number of turnovers they've had this season. Chuck Knox wants to make sure he has his better hands people in there and good thinking, so he's keeping Craig in there to try to ice this thing away. This is a big win for Chuck Knox and his Seattle Seahawks.
The Seahawks will try to grind it out on the ground with 2 tight ends in the game, Mike Tice and Travis McNeil. Warren and Williams are the running backs lined up in the eye. Warren through a big hole inside the 40. Down to the 37-yard line. Chris Warren making his first NFL start today. And it's like Mr. Lloyd is down. Greg bouncing up quickly.
You know the Steelers aren't as bad as they look, but they are as bad as they look when they play the way they've been playing, hurting themselves with the penalties, the dumb mistakes, the turnovers. I don't care what kind of offensive scheme you have. You've got to have the people execute it. The dropped passes, those are players that are hurting themselves out there. It's not the offensive philosophy. Sure, sometimes some of the calls look a little bit strange, but for the most part of it, it's the performance of the players that are dragging these Steelers downhill.
Second down and 3 at the 38. Warren following John L. Williams. Warren doesn't get much. Tackle made by Gerald Williams, the nose tackle, and some of his teammates also helping out. We've got Grant Fiesel slow to gird up, the veteran center for the Seahawks. But he appears to be all right.
Well, I can see Craig milking this clock now down to the 2-minute warning. There's 2:13 left, and they're not going to run another play.
And that'll take us down to the 2-minute warning. Dave Craig with a triumphant return to the lineup as Seattle has this one just about wrapped up.
Alcoa presents Fantastic Finishes, Super Bowl 23.
With 3:10 remaining, the 49ers will have to go from their 8-yard line. There is a lot staring them in the face.
And the 49ers stared it all down. 11 plays later, they were 10 yards from a title.
39 seconds remaining. Back to throw Montana. Stepped up, throws. Touchdown!
Recycling aluminum beverage cans can help save money, since they're worth more at recycling centers and at curbside pickup. Save energy, since they have more recycled content. They save landfill space, since more than 63% of all aluminum cans made are recycled. Yes, recycling aluminum cans saves more of a lot of things, which helps save one more thing. Aluminum beverage cans. Why in the world would you buy anything else?
The new supercharged Pontiac SSEI. Comfort without compromise. Performance without penalty. Excitement without apology. Pontiac SSEI.
The Oilers running shooting to first place. The Bengals shooting for the moon. Next Sunday.
The Seattle Seahawks leading 27-7. We're down to the final 2 minutes of this game. And now let's take a look at today's Canon camcorder replay of the game.
This is the pass to Kane where he gets away from Everett and makes the long run.
A 60-yard connection from Dave Craig to Tommy Kane, who's had a fine day, and that set up a 1-yard touchdown pass from Craig to Mike Tice. Was pretty well iced this game. 2 minutes left. John L. Williams plows straight ahead with both arms wrapped around the football, and he's to the 34-yard line.
Tackled by Gerald Williams.
No doubt about our MVP today. The employer owners of Avis salute the game's MVP. Dave Craig is the winner of the We Try Harder Award. Avis, the official car rental company of the NFL.
Happy birthday to you.
Turned 33 today.
Dear Dave. Yep, 33 years old.
Well, the Seahawks just running out the clock. Chris Warren on the carry. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Steelers and the National Football League is prohibited. This game is the property of the National Football League, Seattle Seahawks, and Pittsburgh Steelers. All rights reserved.
7 yards, second down and 9.
Chuck Knox Seahawks will come away with a victory, but on the other side is Pittsburgh kicker Gary Anderson, who's been one of the best kickers in the league. And when Knox was the coach in Buffalo, he cut Gary Anderson. And then several years later, in 1984, in the Pro Bowl, they were reunited. And Chuck told him, "My coaches and I are much happier in Seattle than we were in Buffalo. But if I had kept you in Buffalo, we would have won a lot more games, and I'd probably still be there. So I'm glad I cut you."
Chuck brought in a big old gallon of red wine that one of his local friends brought to him yesterday, one of those homemade gallons of red wine. I know he's enjoying that.
So that's going to do it. The few fans remaining booing the Steelers as their offense was ineffective again today. They were shut out in the first half for the third straight game, and Seattle dominated this football game, winning it 27-7. We'll be right back.
We built this business.
After my accident, they advanced my insurance benefits and built me a ramp and got me back on my feet.
Build this business.
Our people really care. It meant a lot to us.
It was the global telecommunications link-up they built. Saved the negotiation.
We built this business to build your dreams.
Teenagers are 3 times more likely to die driving at night than during the day.
Kid? With me, kid? Excuse me, with me.
Talk to your teenager about serious driving issues before someone else has to do the talking.
Someone call the parents.
If your face were square, shaving would be simple. If your face were flat, any razor would do. But your face has curves. You need the revolutionary Schick Tracer, the first razor with a blade that flexes to trace every curve on your face. Compared to other razors, Tracer puts more of the blade edge against your skin. For real faces, just like yours. Tracer from Schick traces every curve on your face.
The Seattle Seahawks win for the first time ever at Three Rivers Stadium as they improve their record to 4-4. The Steelers dropped to 3-4 on the season. A big day for Dave Craig returning to the lineup. After recuperating from a thumb injury, he completed 25 of 31 passes for 265 yards and 2 touchdowns. So an impressive win by the Steelers, or the Seahawks. The Steelers continue to struggle, and we'll be back in a moment.